Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. New buttons.
Yes, in 6 simple steps.
Wow. Yeah. I still gotta try these out. It's all kinds of. Yeah. We. Matter of fact, we live. We live. Guys, gentlemen, fellas, it's Friday.
Yes, sir.
We talk basketball on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe it. Jay, I see you over there, man. You got your Blazers gear on. It's that time. Bobby G, I
Best
don't even have
best
to
team of
ask you.
2026, man.
Evan, we got Evan for P5 in the building. It's official.
Yo,
We really got some hoops talk going on right now. And AP Allen, we know you are a part of the gang right now, even though we can't see
COVID sucks.
you. Well, it's of course the guys from RecRoom Sports. We in the building on a big Friday, man. January 23rd, 2026. And we got some things to talk about, man. Jay, what's on your mind when it comes to the hoops right now?
You know what, man? I we was talking and I guess I'm trying to find any reason to talk about like Marvel and the fact that we have to wait almost a whole year to watch Avengers Doomsday. So I just been, I don't know, Wonder Man coming out on the 27th, all 8 episodes. And we were just talking before the show about our favorite series, or as far as the series in it. And basically, we try to rank them. We had our talks, but I always tell people like Loki's up there. You know what I mean? Like Loki's, if not one, two. Depending on who you're talking to. And then also, if you're moving on with the rest of Marvel, you're kind of lost if you haven't watched Loki because we about to be talking about a movie probably with like 3 or 4 of the same character, you know what I mean? But in different lights. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. But pretty much brought us to the conversation of what have we been since we all been, we've been in basketball in our own way. Evan, he does what he does as far as the training and things like that. You got Allen over here with his Oklahoma basketball. Let's not, let's not worry about that. But yeah, in our what I would say basket verse, like everybody has had their own basket verse. So like everybody's been watching their own thing. Me personally, like I was watching the South Carolina game last night, and Aaliyah Chavez is like, goodness gracious,
oh,
she's lighting it up, she's going crazy. I didn't appreciate her doing that when she made her decision to go to Oklahoma. I knew we're gonna have problems. She's gonna pretty much buck from long distance. We're gonna have a hard time. But I've been watching the fact that in NCAA, when you look at the top 25, we're looking at teams that really haven't been on the up and up in a while. You know what I mean? You got Arizona at number one. UConn. It's,
crazy.
it's starting to look like the old days in a way, if that's making sense. And then you have BYU at 13 and I mean St. Louis at 24. Miami, Ohio is ranked nationally. Can you believe that? I mean,
Wow.
it's not, not too hard, but when you look at the top 25,
Undefeated, right?
Undefeated.
undefeated,
Undefeated.
undefeated. That is true. And then when you look at most of the teams, well, we probably have some teams with maybe 3 losses, maybe in the top 10, in top 15, 4 losses, but like 2 losses, 1 loss, we got Arizona undefeated, but that's been good to see. I'm kind of been into Unrivaled because that's what it is right now. That's I gotta show love to the women's game, of course. I'm missing my I hate to say it like this, but my baby, my boo, Nafisa, she's been hurt, so I've been kind of staying away from Unrivaled a little bit, but I'm watching, and I would say a little bit of the same. I would say like the Roses and who's at number one right now? The Laces.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Miss is at I think number two. But it's good to see that type of basketball. The teams jumbled up. away from a little different from what you watch in the WNBA, you know, on the day-to-day in the WNBA. But now, like in my basketverse, you know, I pretty much have been kind of into my Blazers, who right now in 2026 is the best team right now this year. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
So hey, you know, my basketverse is a little broad, but you know, that's kind of what I've been seeing. So I was kind of wondering what everybody has been into, you know, since we haven't, this is our first show together, you know, since last season. So what y'all been watching, man? Like what y'all been on? With, you know, like I said, I know what Evan's been up to. You know,
I guess I'll drop a little something, man. So I've been living in a little bit of nostalgia, man, to be honest with you. You know, coming out of the football season, you know, we've been working real hard with RecRoom, you know, doing some really great coverage, man. Big shouts out to everybody who participates with us. You know, Bobby G, man, we appreciate you. Alan, we got you.
G.
What's going on, Tanner, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm my boys for Basement Brew Fantasy. But I forgot that yesterday was a day that will live in infamy forever. Y'all know what happened yesterday, bro? January 2020, well, excuse me, 2006, January 22nd. 81 points, man, by the Mamba. 28 of 46. I had to go watch those highlights. I had to watch the Stuart Scott ESPN coverage from that night. And y'all know what I really forgot about that, man? It wasn't like Kobe was just showing off. You know what I'm saying? Kobe needed to score 81 to win that game. Like it was a necessity. You know what I'm saying? These weren't just garbage time point. Kobe was going for the jugular, not everybody else on the court and rebounded, but it was Kobe in his own mind going, I am going to win this game. Not we. Okay. This is the team. I know I know there are, you know, little eyes and big U's and all that. We get all of those sayings. You know those sayings. You know that coaches kick you. But somehow, some way, that switch went off in the Mamba's head, and we got a chance to see literally the Mamba mentality come to life. And I had completely forgotten about it. And then at the same time, right, 2 years ago, we got Joel Embiid dropping 70. All right, on the 22nd. And to a degree, this is one of the, if you get the chance to watch some of the old In the Hoops, this is something that Jay stood on tall and to a degree was right. I give you that, Jay. You was right. He was like, yo, man, he dropped 70, man. He gonna fall apart, man. That's the screws are gonna come out. I was like, and I had to go back and check that out, bro. Like, because once again, the highlights of Joel Embiid at his peak performance, which we haven't seen since then, like Jay predicted.
His last three been nice though.
Yeah, you know, recently he has been
back to it the last couple.
He's been looking a little crispy. And then at the same time, y'all, I got wind of something that touched me, pause, in a way that I have to really, you know, consider, because I felt like I was a part of it. I was in on that draft. I had friends. That was when I was really, you know, grinding in the communications area, and I was doing research. D Rose is getting his jersey retired in Chicago. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And of course, as basketball fans, y'all, we all have gotten the opportunity to kind of live through the lens of fans as we watched him ascend to, you know, of course, Rookie of the Year, MVP status, multi-time All-Star, and then hurt, and then recovery from injury, and then being, you know, we saw the documentary where he was traded from Chicago. We saw him cry. We saw him be a real man. One of the most touching instances for me was seeing him in Minnesota drop 50. You know what I'm saying? And then the post game where he was on the court and he's getting a much appreciated, much needed standing ovation from his fans in Minnesota. And he cried on that microphone. He said, I worked so hard. You know, I don't understand if we get how much he had to put himself through to get to that point. But those are some of the things I've been going through in my basketverse, man. Just flashing back and bringing me to the present. And I can't wait to talk about some of it with y'all today.
A question for you though, Whit.
Oh man, Me too. I got a
And
question with
it's
as
for
well.
everybody. It's for everybody too. If Derrick Rose didn't win MVP, would he deserve to have his number retired?
Hell no.
In Chicago,
Yes.
if he didn't win an MVP, would he have the?
He
I don't
shouldn't
know,
have an
man.
MVP.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That's a
Come
good
on, man.
argument.
Come on,
That
man.
year, that's a good argument.
Hey,
That's a
man,
good
LeBron's
argument.
averaging the same numbers this year at 41 years old that D Rose averaged the years that he got the MVP. Come on. And LeBron's numbers were way better. So it's, and I think they had 60 wins or something crazy that year. So come on, man. That man got 4 in a row and they stopped giving it to him because they were like, damn, this dude's going to pass Mike in like 3 years and we can't allow that to happen. So we got to go ahead and stop doing that. But I don't need to get on the LeBron rant yet. So I apologize.
Oh man, that was the beginning of the fatigue right there. That was the
Oh,
beginning of
man.
LeBron fatigue. You know, Bobby, your Baskeverse, man. I thought you was gonna go further into it.
Oh no, I was just. I mean, just because you brought up D-Row, I'm like, if he doesn't have an MVP, does he deserve to have his number retired? I just had a question. That was all. But no,
It's about being. I guess it's about being a native son. You know what I'm saying? A native Chicagoan. You know,
yeah.
and all that good stuff.
My basket verse has kind of been on the future. Watching these young guys in college, man, AJ DeBanza,
Preach.
the Boozer boys.
Mhm.
A lot going on in the men's college game, and let me shout out first. Shout out to Elijah Arenas, man, making a full
Oh,
recovery.
man.
We all
Big
know what
shout
he
out.
went through. It's awesome to see him back on the court, and he'll be another name. He gets himself together. We'll see whether he decides to leave school or stay in school another year. But lets me know the future of the game is live and well. I mean, you're hearing all these things about what's going overseas and in Europe and in Canada and different countries, and they're catching up to. But I mean, don't get it twisted. Yeah, they'll get a player, they'll get 2, but on a whole, there's no country on earth that will ever mess with the USA in basketball on a whole scale. Like, there's the abundance of talents that we have and is on display. And like I say, the future of the game is in good hands. So that's what my basket verse has been.
France is gonna have
Love it.
something to say about that in the next 2 years, bro.
Again, they'll get 1 or 2, but bruh, 3 through 10, they're all American.
Bro, what
And
we got coming?
I'll
Hey,
take those numbers.
what we got coming right now from these young bucks, and then what we got coming over the next few years from college to the pros, the gap is gonna widen again.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Bro, you got 6 or 8 dudes right now in that could be the number 1 pick coming out of this draft. This might be the best draft class we've had in years, man. Y'all didn't even say Acuff, who might be the best guard. You got Fileman from Alabama, who's crazy. I mean, you got all these different guys. Caleb Wilson, who's insane. You got everybody. So, man, I love that. That's that. Speaking of basketball verse, that's where I'm at, man. I'm so deep in the college game right now. So I love that somebody else is talking about that college game, man.
Heck yeah, man. It's one of those things where, I think the college national championship having Indiana win, and
Crazy.
we kind of seeing how that spread is really changing those default names that kind of stand out, I think, on a regular are really going to start changing and switching hands, especially in the game of basketball, man. So I'm excited to see that too.
I love it.
I mean, it's like we mentioned earlier. Miami of Ohio is undefeated in ranks for like what, the first time ever. Like, this is the best team that they've had up to this point in school history. Like, it's crazy to see what's going on in college basketball right now.
I love it.
Yeah. Look, you got the Lou back in there, man. St. Louis, man. I remember they
Crazy.
had squads back in the day when Larry Hughes was out there killing it.
Crazy.
See them back up in there. Yeah, the college game is turning up again. Thank you,
So, Whit,
NIL.
thank you, NIL, for sure. Whit, can I jump in here real quick, man?
Yeah, bro. What you got? Just your
All right, so
basketball.
listen, so I've been writing all this stuff down because I gotta just ask a couple questions about this stuff. So I've been waiting to talk to you boys. So I gotta make sure that I go over everything. So the D Rose thing, first of all, okay, I know that immediately I sounded like a hater right off the bat, right? But I want to make sure that I respect D Rose so much, man. Like you talking about, I'm a Calipari guy, I'm a Kentucky guy. So, I remember that championship run and how close they were to winning and how impactful he was and how crazy he was in Chicago. And we're talking about maybe, a top five. I mean, I think a potential better than Westbrook type of trajectory if he would have stayed healthy. So, and then we know what type of respect Westbrook's going to get when it's all said and done. So I think that's pretty crazy. So I was a big fan, but I just think that MVP is what's going to be so, that gives him the real leg to stand on. And I just think that one was a little bit, fraudulent, but I do still think he put up good numbers, but that was my one thing about that. So I had to say that. Now, the Philly comment real quick. This is what I wanted to get at. Somebody said something about Philly. How are we feeling about the Sixers? I know Embiid's playing better, but that young core and like what they got cooking, they might actually be in a good situation.
Bro, you hit the nail on the head, man. When first of all, when we were doing the show last year and we were really hype on watching Summer Olympics and the men's game was on like midday and we was having and we were hearing about BJ Edgecombe going to Baylor on that Jamaica team. And when he went out there and was playing defense on everybody,
Everybody.
like I was like, okay, that he is going to do something. But to see the athleticism, to see the progression in his jumper, and it kind of everybody's going Dwayne Wade, but I think Dwayne Wade didn't shoot that good that first year. I think Dwayne Wade
Oh
caught a
man.
lot of people off the dribble with like the speed was. I think seeing a larger person move that fast caught a lot of people off guard when it came to Dwayne Wade. But
I
VJ
think,
Edgecombe and that Tyrese Maxey, that 1-2 right there, dog.
oh
It's
my
and
gosh.
especially when they running, I think that's crazy. And just like you said, when it comes to like a whole Philly team kind of come like gelling together, it's crazy to see Paul George look like
Come on.
he's coming back a little bit, So
Playing better.
I think it's a lot of that, that veteran leadership, kind of going, hey, young fella, like go do you. And I think a lot of times, um, coaching and not being passed the torch can stifle young players. But they
For
gave it to
sure.
him. They said go out there and do it, and it's
Go
it's
get it,
it's
young
great
fella.
to see.
And Maxey's really that dude. And Edgecombe is just like when I saw those preseason highlights when he dropped like that 30 burger and I watched it, I was just like, bro, this dude is like a different type of athlete. Like there's not very many guys that are, jumping up and blocking dudes off 2 feet, with two hands and,
Mhm.
dunking on people off the opposite foot, with the opposite hand and, still making threes and locking up and playing defense. He's got like a lot of different guys mixed in. But here's my next thing I got to ask with.
Mhm.
So the comparisons, so I'm a big, like, I love Peterson from Kansas. So like
Mm.
he can fit in any situation. I don't care where you're at in the NBA. Like you draft him because he can be a difference maker for where he plays. But also I feel that same way potentially about Debanza and about Boozer and some of these other guys. So how do you guys feel about the RJ Barrett comparisons to Debanza? I feel like he's 50 times better than him. And I feel like
Right.
he's more of like a mixture of T-Mac. Like he reminds me of T-Mac, the way that he gets to his spots and his crazy athleticism, like that mid-post work. And like, listen, I train every day, all day. And I have the blessing to work with some pros. That mid-post work and how he can get to that anytime he wants, that immediately translates day one to the NBA. So he's immediately going to be able to take advantage of his small forward position at 6'10" and be able to do
Boy.
whatever he wants. He could be a Cooper Flag that comes right in the game and we're averaging 25 and 5 and we're putting up LeBron type of numbers. Like he could be that type of dude. And to think that he could potentially end up at OKC if that all worked out,
Uh-oh.
are you freaking kidding me? You're
Uh-oh.
talking about a dynasty, man. You're talking about something that would be a lot of fans would be pissed off because that's going to be another Golden State type of thing.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
Hey, hey,
you
hey, don't
said the key
threaten me
word.
with a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I'm a Kentucky guy, so Shea's my guy, man. So when he won last year, I was so thankful and blessed, man. Cal said that Tyler Hero and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander were the two hardest workers that he ever had play for him. And you see, you know, how obviously Tyler Hero's had a lot of injuries, but you see what Shea's been able to do, man. We're talking about numbers that we, you know, haven't seen. We're talking about rare air type of numbers. So I just think Oklahoma City is crazy. And then they got the guy, you know, not to segue really quickly, but they got the guy, the amazing Tropic, that hasn't even been able to touch the court yet, that's coming off of testicular cancer. That's basically having a top 5 pick come right into your offense. So even if you have to lose a couple of those guys to free agency, you freaking get that dude to step right in. So they're set up about as good as anybody's set up.
Oh, shoot.
Potentially 2 top 10 picks next year, which is insane.
Yeah, man. When you think about it like that, or when you put it that way, though, you know, and big shout out to Tanner, a big Tan man, our guy from Basement Brew Fantasy, who brought up Peterson in one of our little rants that we're gonna throw out there for the world to see. It's an evolutionary thing for him to have those spots ready to go and jump right in, just like you said. It's 6'10", you know what I'm saying? And of course, at that age, it's really you really could get a little taller, you know what I mean? I like the Basta. When you said RJ Barrett, I think a lot of I think and this was just a thing. I think the game he originally came in with and where he was at, I think it stifled him a little bit. I like RJ once again, and I had to refer to, you know, maybe I got to refer to it because, you know, that's where they maybe were the most comfortable. RJ Barrett in the summertime with the Canadian team was a different person,
A
you know,
monster.
and I think that's what got him out of New York and into Toronto, you know, technically, or got his feet completely in the section of going, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna go home. You know, New York is too much. The spotlight is different. I'm sick of talking to Spike Lee every time I get on the court. Like I'm just gonna go home. But the Basta to T Mac, yeah. You know, and we caught a lot of like the Toronto T Mac, like where we caught a lot of it, and we was like, ooh, because we didn't get a chance to see it while it was happening live. We got to catch that Toronto T Mac in spurts when they would, you know, show those Eastern Conference games when they was, you know, going up against like a New York, you know what I'm saying, those Cleveland teams and things of that nature. I think that's an awesome comparison, to be real with you, bro. And
Uh,
I can't wait to see him fully engulfed in, you know, NBA setting to see how that may, and then to think like you said, bro, it could be OKC. Like really,
Doesn't even
Bobby, who
make
just said they got
sense.
to get rid of?
no, I'm gonna do you one better. And
Okay,
Hoopers will understand exactly what I'm saying. I like the T Mac comparison, but there's a question that we used to ask ourselves once upon a time. What if Tim Thomas cared about basketball?
ooh,
Hmm. Hmm.
We're about to find
Tim
out.
Thomas, man. Wow.
We're about to find out.
What a
before the
If
pool.
you
braids or
look at it,
after?
huh?
Before the braids or after?
What a pool.
I'm talking about Villanova.
Oh yeah,
Villanovaton. What if he cared about basketball? Like this
Wow.
is no question. If you look at AJ, damn their body type, the
Everything.
handle, like he
Yep.
does. He literally is a spitting image of Tim Thomas. You go back and
Wow.
watch his game. The only thing was, did he have the mental? And I mean, he had a decent career. Yeah, decent career, but there was always that question, man. What if Tim Thomas just you ain't got to ask that about AJ. At least at least right now, from the outside looking in, you don't have to ask that. And I think we're about to find out.
And he loves the spotlight, man. Like
Yeah.
he wants the spotlight and he loves the spotlight. And that's different. That's why I think the main event, my dog Cooper Flag, that's why I think he was so ready, man. When I heard that he was in that Team USA practice giving them boys fits, that
Mhm.
automatically told me right there, like this dude's different, man. And he's stepped into a brutal early on situation and steadied that ship. And I know that they're not great, but they're at least competing recruiting and having an opportunity, and he's been fantastic. I know he's been beat up a little bit lately, but that's another one of the guys. But I love AJ DeBonsa, and I just think that you have a little bit of questions with Peterson, like what's going on with the hamstring? Why are we subbing in and out? Like, why are you inconsistent with just your mental? Because if you guys, I know you guys are all hoop heads, so like when they played each other in high school, Peterson dropped like 50 on those boys, and then they also beat him heads up. So it's like he already had his numbers. So I think that's in the back of DeBonce's mind probably a little bit too. So when he's dunking that thing, I think he's dunking that thing with a little bit more velocity and a little bit more energy, man. Because I think that dude really believes that he's the best player. It's kind of like like I said, my basketball verse is what I have going on in my life, but I'm such a Kentucky guy, and this roller coaster for the last month has just been brutal, man. I mean, we've gone from, wanting to fire the coach to winning 8 out of 10 and, 4 in a row in the SEC and all of that. But, I'm following the recruiting trail, and this Tyron Stokes kid, this dude that is in high school right now, like, I don't know if we're just in a Zion situation where he's just so much bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody that it looks unfair, or is like this dude really about to be the next LeBron? Because for that dude to come out and say that he's better than all those high school dudes and not even blink an eye at it, like, dude, you know what type of boys you got to have down there to be able to say something like that and to think that you can back that up? I mean, this dude's doing East Bays every other game in a game, man, and dropping 30 and hitting 7 threes. And I just, it's just to go back to where, the comment about France, Whit, I know you said something about France. I know everybody's drinking the Wimbyama music right now, but I'm just saying, man, like I think somebody that we're not talking about is Ant, and what Ant is doing right now, as far as like for representing for not only the T-Wolves, but for the USA boys. Like, man, that dude's going to be different. And seeing Tatum already coming back from that injury and Halliburton fighting back and everything like that, man, it's just the game is in such a competitive spot right now that's why we've had so much parity, man. I mean, that's why you've had a different champion every single year, because it's just, man, this team can win, or whoever gets hot, or we're not even talking about Joker because he's been hurt a little bit, but watching that USA doc the other day and seeing how much that Serbia game meant to those guys and what that meant, it's just like, dude, for them to say that's the hardest game. So Whit, maybe you do have a point, man. Maybe the overseas guys are almost right there.
It's a couple of things that we definitely I think we'll definitely see more of as basketball going on, because and Ev, just like you said, bro, the college game is changing. When they put that dynamic in of saying, okay, you got eligibility, you can go back, or you can go to college. That is a wild aspect that I think we got to touch on sometime this season. Hey, Alan, I know you're over there. We didn't even get to your Baskeverse, bro. Are you okay? If not, I'm about to hit the intro on you, bro. How you feeling?
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, as far as basketball goes, yeah, obviously been stating the obvious. Watching OKC, they've been really, really good this year. J-Dub's, the injury hasn't really. I don't think he's fully recovered yet, and it's starting to kind of show a little bit. They've been kind of struggling here and there. They did lose tonight, but Shea did also put up 40 again tonight, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Obviously having a championship last year is fun to celebrate, and trying to go back to back. And obviously we're the villains now, so I got to play the villain role. But if anybody watches Lock It In every weekend, we're starting to get into our college basketball parlays and stuff like that, and we've been kind of going at the for the most part, we've been looking at some of the smaller schools like American University, Green Bay University, like those type of schools that are, you can get a lot of decent bets on. So we've been paying attention to a lot of the small school college basketball. But also paying attention, obviously with the KU fan in the building, he's obviously got a rant about what's going on there with the Jayhawks, and my second team is actually Texas Tech, so I got family that's from Lubbock, that's graduated from Lubbock, and I've got a lot of family down there in the Panhandle of Texas. So Texas Tech, one of the better teams in the Big 12. So it's been fun watching them too.
They play fun basketball, man. They're fun to watch.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
of course, watching our women's team, going back and watching the highlights of the women knocking off South Carolina last night, which was a great game, too.
Huge.
Word. Well, we covered so much in the Baskeverse. I guess we're about to go ahead and get it started, man. Of course, just in case you don't know, it's the boys from RecRoom Sports. We got M from P5 in the building, man. Your trainer's favorite trainer. Get your kids ready because he's gonna make them sweat. 1060s, all of that. That's what we got going on right now. We got Bobby G from Audible in the building like normal. We got AP Allen Perales in the building, man. You know how he do. And Jay is coming right back. I believe he's got a lot to talk about. So, I'm hitting the button. Let's do it.
What does that mean?
All right. So just like we said, man, just in case you missed it, man, we had a whole 30 minutes to run through where our basket verses were. Thanks to Jay for putting that together because, of course, Multiverse of Madness, all that Marvel lifestyle that we live off camera, we're like, it's going to come to fruition. I've been watching these Doomdays commercials. Yeah, I'm excited. But if you don't know, now you know. It's the boys from Rec Room, man. This is in the hoop. It is Friday. It is January the 23rd, and basketball is in full swing. We're going to run up on the trade deadline in about 2 weeks. So there has been a lot of basketball already played. Ev jumped in, said, look, man, the college game is taking off right now. His eye is on that. Our eye is on a little bit of everything. Thanks, Jay, for bringing up, your perspective on, man. Hey, look, what we got to lose when we watching the women's game right now? Nothing, because they are holding their own with Undisputed. So I didn't even get a chance to check out as much of it as I wanted to, because of course we're all discovering that this multi-tiered platform of watching basketball is just a little difficult if you don't got each of the streaming services. If you don't got Prime, Peacock, HBO Max, Netflix, YouTube TV, you got to have a little bit of everything to watch basketball these days. So I'm excited to get into it. But and once again, of course, thanks again, AP Allen, man, for toughing it out for us. I know it's going down right now. 20 something, 13 inches of snow out there in that area. It's supposed to be coming down in the next 24 to 48 hours. So we really appreciate you hanging out with that.
We've already got like 3 to 4 inches already.
Jeez.
And it just began like 2 hours ago. So yeah, this is going on all through tomorrow and all through the beginning of Sunday.
Snowmageddon,
man.
You should see people in the South when they see a snowflake, they start freaking the hell out.
Yeah.
I love
Pretty sure every grocery store in the metro around here is like empty.
Out of toilet tissue and water.
Like the hurricanes down here.
Water, toilet paper, paper towels, everything gone.
Yeah, man. It's when you got emergency broadcast, the emergency broadcast phone ringings going on. Everybody around you, phones start ringing. You
were alerted.
I'm scared
Freaks
now.
you
All
out.
right,
Yeah.
I got to get the toilet paper. I got to get.
That's
the
freak out mode.
Scared. Right,
freak out mode right there.
For sure.
We had this back in 2021. We had a similar thing happen in 2021. We had a big old snowstorm that had, I want to say it was like 10 inches of snow, something like that. Here for like we were shut down. The entire state was shut down for like a week because nobody knew what the hell they were supposed to be doing. So, and that was also during COVID. So it was like, it made it even worse. So it was bad.
Man. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. We got a lot of ground to cover, and we're going to get to each this conference conversation too. So let's go ahead and jump it off. We got the tip off, man. And of course, in basketball, the tip off is one of the most exciting parts of the game. You don't know where it's going, but as you can see, we got a lot to discuss. So Lakers sell, Jeanie Buss, Klutch Sports, it's all up from here, and I'm gonna try and get this precise so everybody can see where we headed. All right. So May 1979, man, Jerry Buss paid $67.5 million to eventually own what would become one of the landmark deals in LA, because at the time it would technically purchase him the Forum, which was in Inglewood, right? NHL's LA Kings, and at the time, a fledgling Lakers squad. 1 month later, Buss would make the decision to draft point guard Magic Johnson, number 1 overall, instead of Larry Bird, which would eventually lead them to their first championship. Now, years, decades, so much more money later, picks later, of course, it's all over to a degree. The Buss family led themselves to have a bit of a falling out where $10 billion was put up for ransom to a degree to sell the Lakers from up under the Buss family name in October, following a unanimous approval by the NBA Board of Governors. Because I don't know if you know, you can't do anything like that without the other Board of Governors members voting for it to happen. And I think to a degree, they were ready for the hands to change to a degree, right? Um, Following the firing of several of the Buss family members, older members in the past, younger, closer members to Jeanie, more recently, there were some reports that came out that frustration in front office meetings were being voiced about decisions that had been made in relation to LeBron James being on the Lakers and having a say in what goes on. Now, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, ladies and gentlemen, but LeBron James is LeBron James. He came into the league somewhat goated, if you will, before he even touched the basketball. But to an extent, he has proved every type of metric correct. He's now what, number 1 overall in scoring. He's probably going to eventually
Everything.
be number 1 in assists, rebounds. But it's on. It goes on and on and on. But before then, the Lakers were in a bit of a downturn. So now, what happens?
I love Jay, man.
Jeanie Buss gets a little upset somehow in the win and goes, "Oh, he's just a little cocky." You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's too much of. Oh, look, see other people seen it too, Bobby. Other people saw it.
I know.
You'll tell us about it. Tell us about it in a minute. But of course, Jeanie Buss goes and voices her opinion, probably behind closed doors, about the frustration that LeBron James and Rich Paul and Klutch Sports have a bit of a chokehold on the Lakers organization. Now, if you think about it, LeBron James won you a championship. LeBron James brought you some relevance. LeBron James, who also is tied in with Rich Paul and Klutch Sports, found a way to get you Anthony Davis, one of the top 75 NBA players, to also be brought to the Lakers. Because prior to, it was no secret. Evan knows that, Bobby knows that, Jay knows that, Alan knows that LeBron was making his way to LA because a lot of his business dealings and his plans to do movies and film and documentary, very similar to the Kobe aspect of life, was going to bring him to LA anyway. So magically, now that it's not looking as clean and pristine as it did before, we get to talk about LeBron. But out of all of that, of course, you got to do some damage control, right? Jeanie Buss later responded, I think about a day or two ago, and said it's really not right, given all the great things LeBron has done for the Lakers, that he has to be pulled into my family drama. To say that it wasn't appreciated and it's just not true and completely unfair to him. Now, fellas, and Bobby G, you gotta chime in on this one. LeBron coming from the Cavs, some of it be his fault. Some of it is management's fault. Got to. But after he brings you into relevance, like he did with the Cavaliers, very similar to what he did with the Miami Heat, like he did with the Cavaliers when he went back, and like he did with the Lakers when he went to LA. You kind of gotta. Is there enough room to forgive him? For helping make decisions or being in the position of power to lead you to make decisions? Because you know what happens when the door closes. LeBron goes back there and says, Hey, I like for this to happen. I like for that to happen. LeBron leaves out the room. Rich Paul looks you in the eye and says, yeah, and if you don't make it happen, I don't think that we'll be happy, and walks out. That's called representation. You pay somebody to do that. Jay is right here. He ain't gonna talk about it. But remember Drew Rosenhaus, Jay? Remember all of those players Drew Rosenhaus had on the docket? And remember, Drew Rosenhaus would go out there with the slick back hair, and he would be right there on camera in front of T.O. doing push-ups and sit-ups in his driveway and say, hey, if you're not going to pay my man, my player, if you're not going to pay him for his representation or what he's put on the field, we're not coming. You pay for what you got when it comes to LeBron. Simple. And in the end, you can't get mad. Why? Because you got a ring from his tenure. You got one. And I don't care what you say about it, bro. In real life, you can talk all the trash you want. You can say all the statistics you want. You can talk about it. COVID time was a different time, ladies and gentlemen. COVID time was a different time. We was going through it, okay? We was in the house, all right? We was hurt. We was waiting on checks that we didn't know was going to exist in months. And then they went to go play basketball? The boys went to go play basketball while we was waiting on checks that didn't even exist at the time, bro. I really don't think y'all understand. They get separated from their families for months. They get checked up. Anybody had a COVID test lately? When the last time you had a Q-tip shoved up your nose, people? Okay. It wasn't fun.
Yesterday.
Thank you, Alan.
Yesterday.
I'm sorry. Alan. But it wasn't fun, bro. It wasn't fun. LeBron put them boys on his back along with Anthony Davis and brought LA a championship in the bubble. It means something, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, the sale is over. The Buss era is done. LeBron is at the end of his tenure or very close to it. Was it worth it or was it not worth it? Simple.
Well, first, the Buss era isn't done because remember, Jeanie's still the governor.
They're getting her out of there, bro. They're getting her out of there. It's over. She can't do anything.
Who's the governor today?
Bro, they getting out of there, bro.
Who's the governor today? Who's the decision maker today?
No power. It's a word now. It's a partition behind the camera, behind the veil, where the man who's the Wizard of Oz is pushing the buttons and really holding the strings. It looked good, but it's really not Jeanie Buss anymore like it used to be. Yeah, that's the point. The sale has happened. The ship is gone.
It's still Jeanie Buss. She worked it out so she could still be in control. So
you think that? I got you.
It's in the contract, bro. I ain't got to think nothing.
Okay,
she can do what she want to do, and nobody can do anything about it.
That's like that nonprofit.
You want me to read it to you? Because I got it. In real life, she asked to not be fired like the rest of her siblings. She asked to play out the year. She asked. You got to ask, and you the boss? What? No, they was going to let her go.
Anything else.
They were going to let her go. They were going.
I get it, but the question is, did they put it on paper?
It's called being nice, man. Okay, all right, cool. You can ride this out, man. Go ahead, ride this out. This out. Go ahead. Come to the boardroom. Come on, come sit down with me. Let me show you how we really run the organization.
It ain't even.
Get Luka. Get Dallas on the phone and get Luka. That's how they did it. In October, when the hands changed, they cleaned the older buses out. They gave the younger 2 or 3 a little bit of time to kind of straighten up. They got them out of there. The sister who was freaking 52, who was in the media, who's been running Lakers media for 20 years plus, a year away from actually reaching retirement as far as the NBA pension is concerned. They fired her. How ruthless is that? I am not in agreement with it, is my point. I think that the Buss family has put in enough work to the dynamic of the NBA that they should get enough respect where they could walk away on their own terms. But when that money exchange hands, bro, and you can talk about all the frustration you want, this is technically the end of the era, bro. It's happening right before our eyes.
Sure, we'll go with that. But they want to be mad at LeBron, they can do that all they want to. Like, the NBA has been a player-driven league since Magic Johnson and Larry Bird entered the league. Players have decided the fates of many people. How did Pat Riley become the coach of the Lakers? Oh yeah, that's right. Because Magic Johnson said, "I want him to be the coach, or I'm leaving." Right? Um, how do most things happen on NBA teams when the star player wants something? Like basketball, unlike any other sport, professional sport in America, because the rosters are so small and because your best player can have such an impact, right? That player gets to make certain demands unless you have the gall or the cojones, If I know we might still have kids around, so I got the language
Oh, you're good.
switch on.
He's heard way worse, so you're good, brother. He's good. He's about to fall
uh,
asleep on a chair, so we're good. He just wanted to
unless
hang out
you
with daddy.
unless you're an upper manager and you had the cojones to make something happen, because this comparison, all the Jordanites, they well, Michael Jordan never asked for it, never did that. You know why he never did?
Oh
Because
man.
Jerry Krause didn't care what Michael Jordan thought, and he was going to do what he
Hell
wanted
no.
to do anyway.
Absolutely.
That's why Jordan didn't ask, because he knew the answer was going to be no. So for that to be happening now with the Lakers, like this is nothing new. Everything that is once was. It just makes me think of something interesting that I really didn't get. I guess it's coming light that Mr. Moore, owner of the New York Giants, called out. He's come out and said he's not going to leave the Giants to his kids. And everybody's like, "What?" Like I'm thinking, like, why would you want to do that? Because being of all the ownerships, being an NFL owner is the most exclusive club. It's like the most powerful sports owners are the NFL owners, right? Why would you not want to hand that down and keep it in the lineage? And the Lake, this is exactly why. He said he's seen more destruction of families come from owning sports teams than any other business he's owned. And see the the inner turmoil to win a championship, to compete, is more divisive in being the owner of a sports franchise than any other business he's owned. So, and looking at the Lakers situation, you see exactly why. And it's like I agree with him, and like for a team that we would being a Cleveland fan, right? The butt of many a joke. People will say the Browns are the worst run organization in sports. But look what we're seeing from our flagship, or from a blue chip organization, right? It's the Lakers. It's the Lakers. It ain't no difference, man. People are people. And at the end of the day, you got to live with the decisions you make.
I agree. I agree. I mean, when you got into the Rich Paul aspect of it, I mean, it kind of doesn't have anything to do with what you're talking about, but I was kind of respecting Rich Paul as a businessman. Well, what you're talking about, just like you said, representation. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Rich Paul lost me when he started talking down about Jordans, man. When he says with that little remark well, basically this podcast, which is kind of frowned upon right now. I think he shouldn't speak. There you go, man. I didn't have nobody in my neighborhood named Max with no BMW. That sounds pretty personal, man. That sounds pretty personal, because when I saw Jordans, they was on the feet of people who were walking. You understand what I'm saying? From where I'm from. And I saw it on a cute girl in my class or whatever, and was like that. And they got small feet, so I had pretty big feet. I wear a size 13, sometimes 14. So like I've been wearing that since I've been in 6th grade. Jordans don't look good on my feet, so I had to just admire everybody else's. Like, yeah, I can't wear those. You know what I'm saying? But to his comments and him having, or should I say, being outspoken on a podcast, I think that's where you should draw the line, like right there. There's nothing wrong with being on the barbershop, saying something every now and then, but your own podcast, let's chill out a little bit. You got it. I'm not gonna say you have enough, but you should be happy with what you're getting right now. And that's kind of where he lost me with the remark about Max with the BMW, and people didn't want Jordans until like I saw them on the poster and was admiring on the poster. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, it was nice. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't remember no Max or nobody like that with no BMW or anything like that make me want to. Nah, that sounds pretty personal. But yeah, like I agree with both of y'all, what y'all saying as far as the ownership and where it should go. I think families. I just think that it's all about you're talking about Buss. Y'all saw what was this on Apple TV? The little special that the little series they had, Laker Showtime or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
I think that has a big part to do with it, man. I think the way he lived, as far as the Buss is concerned, the way, Jerry Buss lived his life, the way he carried himself, I don't think he showed the ins and outs of this is how you carry a franchise, but I think the lifestyle of what he was doing kind of got a little jaded with what they're doing, how they're handling their business. I didn't even know he had so many kids. You understand what I'm saying? So I just feel that, again, on both sides, I hear what both of y'all are saying. It's just that I think the right owner who kind of dumbs it down for his family, doesn't live too extravagant, pretty frugal type person, can handle that type and can teach his kids to carry it on the correct way. I think it could be done. I think it could be done both ways. I think, somebody can pretty much do as say, hey, have some type of stakeholders and have somebody else take over the franchise. And then again, I think the right person can teach their kids. I mean, look at the Ursays. You know what I mean? Like as far as in football with Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they didn't quite really. We're only talking about one, not even a year out, really. But just this season, his daughters, and these are the daughters, not to put anything down on women, but they have handled the business. And, I think people can do it. I think someone can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you teaching your kids how to run a franchise and live with integrity. I think just a lot of things has got to kind of got in the way as far as the Busses are concerned. I just think that it's a high, like this is a high value franchise. Like this is like the franchise, like one of the franchises across all major sports. So, we'll see how that goes. We do know that I would like to see the Lakers under new ownership. I would. I honestly would. I think it's about time. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I can't think of too many families involved, like you said about the Maras and stuff like that. I think the son is actually running the franchise now, right, Bobby?
Yeah, I believe so.
But I think just like so far, not too good. Anybody else got anything on that? I say I like a 50-50. I'm basically
only other family that I can think of that kind of has a name and so much of a name that they're making a movie about it is of course Al Davis and the Raiders. Everybody knows right now Mark Davis is pretty much head of Raiders operations. We got a chance to see him on the sidelines at the Indiana game with the homie Tom Brady, who of course they're probably going to draft 9 times out of 10, Mendoza at number 1, but the movies coming out with Al Davis and of course the great John Madden. So that's another family in sports lore who, although the Raiders might not be in the best of positions right now, they're just another family who's passed it down from father to son. And I'm sure there's some of the Davis daughters involved in operations as well. So just want to throw that in there too, bro.
I mean, eventually Jerry's probably going to give the Cowboys to Steven, so that's probably going to happen down the road. But
Jerry gonna live forever.
Yeah,
his urn is going to be on the podium while he's talking. Like that's what I feel, man. But
you mentioned, Jerry runs the Cowboys, yes, but all the business stuff, all the business side, his wife actually does that. So, and then Steven runs like the player evaluations and talent evaluations, and like the whole family's involved in what the Cowboys do. So, I know Jerry has final say on everything, yes, but the entire family is part of the day-to-day operations. So they're essentially running it as a family, but. I mean, when it comes to the Lakers, I just keep looking outside and seeing all this snow that's happening, all this, winter hell's freezing over. This is basically what the Lakers are right now. I mean, yeah, what you mentioned, they won a championship in 2020. Awesome. What have they done since? first round exits from the playoffs. That's not the Laker way. The Laker way is championships. We want championships. And when your fan base is actively saying, we need change, teams saying we need change. We're tired of being a first round exit. We're tired of maybe not making the playoffs. We're tired of having to play in the play-in just to get in the playoffs. That shouldn't be what the Lakers are, because like you guys have said, the Lakers are one of the premier franchises in the NBA. If this is the Lakers if this is the Lakers we know and love, they should at least be like top 5 every year in the West. Which, if we've looked at the last couple of years, they haven't been. They've been in the bottom. They've been like 7 or 8 the last couple of years, and that's not what people expect from the Lakers. So I kind of agree with TJ. I'm kind of hoping that there is a changing of the guard there for the Lakers. Maybe they go back to where they were. Maybe they, who knows what'll happen with the roster and everything. It seems like they've started to figure things out with Reeves and Doncic, and maybe LeBron gets thrown in there for a couple more years or something, or maybe this is his last year. Who knows? But I think I do agree that it was time for a change, because the drama was just getting to be too much, and it was causing a lot of damage internally within the franchise. And we've seen the result the last couple of years for the Lakers on the court, where they struggled not just to get into the postseason at times, but when they get in the postseason, they're usually a first round exit. So I know that they wanted this change. They wanted to figure a way to where, to get back to being the Lakers of old. This might be the first step in that change.
Hey man, when you say it right the first time, Alan, you said enough, bro. And the Lakers of old are what they're trying to get back to. And we were all here last year when in February, one of the first steps to them trying to do something was acquiring Luka. And now I can't wait to see what happens as we go forward, as the Buss family is slowly retired from the world of NBA basketball.
All right, can I get in here now?
For sure.
All right, so I got to say what I got to say. Okay, so really quickly, to go back to the beginning of the question, was it worth it for the Lakers to deal with LeBron and all of that, right? So the Lakers before LeBron got there, they had missed the playoffs 6 straight seasons. And in their entire existence, they had missed the playoffs 5 times. So even at the end of Kobe's career, they were irrelevant, right? So LeBron could have pulled a KD move, and he could have went to a ready-made situation and just ran off 7 or 8 championships, hypothetically, and could have went that way. But he chose, obviously, like you guys said, to go out to LA, partly to do with his off-the-court business. But I think he went out there to play as well, right? Because I want to make sure that we don't forget that the first year that he came out there with all the young boys, on Christmas Day, they were beating Golden State before he got hurt, and they were second in the West that year, and they had every chance. He was steamrolling and was in one of the MVP conversations, right? I think that was the Solomon Hill, if I'm not mistaken. If that was the first year, that might have been the second year, but then the second year they got AD, and then they won the championship, right? Then all they had to do was bring that roster back. Everybody was under contract. They didn't have to do any of those stupid decisions, and they decided to trade that whole entire roster when they easily could have ran it back and been relevant again, right? Then they made the worst decision of the whole tenure that LeBron was there with the Westbrook thing. Now, you blame him if you want, but whatever the situation was. But then, obviously, they missed a couple playoffs, but last year they were the 3 seed with a horrible roster construction and just got beat by Rudy Gobert and had a chance to beat them. And then this year, they've been right back in. I mean, I know that they're not in a championship territory, but, they're once again top 5 in the West. So I think they've had a couple bad years, but I think minus a couple injuries, they've been potentially right there fighting. I mean, look what happened. What was that? The Phoenix series when they were up and 3-2 or 2-3, and then they had an injury, and then they went back with that. So it's just there's been a lot of things that I think that have happened, and I just feel like for an article to come out about the owner talking about LeBron this or LeBron that, like regardless of whatever they say, man, he represented the organization as well as he possibly could. He's been available as he possibly can. He's been trying to win. He's not just like sitting off the court and pouting. He was doing it a little bit this year in the beginning because I think they were trying to find the direction, but he's played off the ball, man. He's played on the ball. He's tried to adjust. And I understand that people are frustrated by the power that Rich Paul has, but man, he's a high level agent. It was the same way that Rob Pelinka was. Like there's just there when you're involved that deeply and you have that many players that you represent, you have some say when it comes to how things are run, maybe not in the organization, but how you do things. So I think he's represented his guys to get them, paid. I mean, one thing that they don't say about LeBron is how many of his guys he's gotten paid or he got contracts for. So, we can go with the LeBron debate all day, but I just feel like, dude, if you're really that unsatisfied, to see that I follow everything Lakers now because I'm such a LeBron guy. So I've been a Laker fan for the last 8 seasons. I follow all their podcasts, and to see how much bullcrap hate that he gets and the comparison to Kobe and all of this stuff, bro, he's been fantastic since he's been a Laker. Every time he's in the uniform, he's been great. He's averaged the same. I mean, dude, this dude is 41 years old, dropping 30 and dunking on people and everything like that. And if you are really a student of the game and you've been watching the game, when he's been orchestrating the offense over the last 5 to 7 games, they've been way better than when Luka has the ball and he just dribbles the effing air out of it, and then we freaking don't play any defense on the other side. So it's like roster construction, and all I read today was, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant, but all I read today was, let's see what this looks like to move off LeBron and all these expiring contracts, and let's build around Luka and let's do this. And at the end of the day, bro, the same thing is going to keep happening. The guy is amazing, but he doesn't play any defense. And when you can't stop another person or you can't get key stops in games against good teams, you're not going to win. There is no way that Luka Doncic led team is going to beat Oklahoma City with all of those dogs playing defense and all of that going on. Or if Anthony Edwards is just like, hey, mother effer, I'm going to guard you the whole game and I'm going to try to take you out of the series. And then that's what's going to happen. And that's what happened last series. My brother's like, oh, Luka averaged 30 points in that Minnesota series. Dude, it was an irrelevant 30 because he was getting cooked for 35 on the other end. So it didn't even matter. So they have a lot of stuff that they got to fix, and it dang sure doesn't all have to do with freaking LeBron.
Just to put something real quick on top of what Ab said, it was 100% right, by the way.
Thank you.
Remember when LeBron first went to LA, Magic was in charge. He went to play for Magic, and then whatever happened with that situation happened. So,
and I'm a chime in real quick. Ev, you 100% right. It's I can't really put it into words. It looked. I feel like it was like not really fool's gold in Dallas, but it just looked different.
It looked way different.
It looked different in a Dallas uniform. I feel like in a Lakers uniform with the eyeballs on it and the slow-mo replay, and they are watching Luka watch people drive by him. I know we used to harp on it, and we gonna move on after this. We used to get on James Harden a lot, but James Harden to get out there and try and get a steal. James Harden to get a steal. As much offensive output as James Harden used to get sometimes, James Harden to go out there and get you a steal, a good one, a clutch steal too. Okay, but Luka, nah.
But the sad thing is, brother, is that Luka's IQ basketball wise is off the charts. And those nights that he does want to play defense, I mean, I think the other night he had 5 steals. Like, I mean, he could do it every night if he really wants to. But the problem is, man, is he's eternally lazy on defense because ever since he's been crowned a prodigy as a young boy, they never made him play both ends. He was always able to play offense, even in the Euro Cup. That's why he was the MVP MVP and did all that stuff because he had the green light and he could do whatever he wanted, but it wasn't getting exposed the way that it was because they didn't have the same type of athletes in the NBA. It's not that he can't guard. It's the fact that, dude, if you got a guard, if he gets switched out on, let's just take a guy that I can't believe that I missed on our players to spotlight, freaking Keontae George. I didn't think he was going to go that crazy, but let's take him getting switched out on a guy like that. Luka can't guard Keontae George on an island. But if it's Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum and they're matched up on a little bit more slides and it's not a blow by athlete, he might have a better chance. But he can't guard some of these athletes in the NBA, and him being 6'8" and slow of foot and all of that stuff just doesn't help, man. So you have to literally build a brick wall behind him. Why do you think Mavericks had all of that size and all of that at the rim? Because this dude's just olaying people and they gotta freaking just block him at the rim.
Yeah, that just goes back to roster construction. The Lakers team wasn't built for the. It's going to take a few seasons for them to get the roster.
Few of them
for Luka,
for sure.
And let's not also forget the Dallas market. You know, people weren't paying attention to it much because the Dallas market Mavericks. You know, other than the Dirk championship, they're not really that much of a basketball team. But when you're in the LA or the New York market, yeah, fans are definitely going to point that out a lot more because they pay attention to the little details like that.
For sure.
If you're not playing defense, they're going to call you out on it, especially New York fans. New York fans are very hostile. And Lakers fans are like that as well. Boston fans, Celtics fans, they're like are definitely like that. Philly fans,
definitely.
Yeah, those kind of markets are going to definitely call you out like on that. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much the reason why he's kind of, like you said, they built the roster to have the big guys on defense behind him. But at the same time, it's also the Dallas media not really paying attention to it much or calling it out. Now that he's in LA and now that the roster's kind of not really tuned to what, you know, made Luka great, it's like, yeah, you're going to get called out on it more, especially if you decide, yeah, I'm not going to play defense tonight.
Yeah. Well, and this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'll say this, man. I know that Nico didn't handle it the right way, but his cause for pause and some of his concerns were definitely valid. I mean, maybe not enough to trade your franchise for what they got, but I mean, his worry about him being out of shape and his worry about him being able to play defense and being able to like lead the franchise in that way and be available every year. And then, you know, you saw the back-to-back leg injuries, and I'm sure Nico was like, man, I'm panicking, you know, let's try to do this. And if he would have traded for an Anthony Edwards or something like that, you would have been able to swallow it a little bit better. But he traded for a guy that's unfortunately been beat up and everything like that. And then it sounds to me like Dallas is looking to trade AD again. So that just kind of, you know, that sucks. But I mean, if you got the main event, man, you gotta build a roster around him, man. I think that dude's the real deal. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on another Cooper Flag thing, but I think he's real.
Nah, man, you definitely right. You hit the nail on the head, man. And yeah, we gonna keep it moving, man. There's so many ways that we can look at the picture of the Lakers, whether it's from the front office, whether it's the current era with LeBron, whether it's what's gonna happen when LeBron goes with Luka. Like we could literally talk about the Lakers for days. But you know what? We're gonna keep it moving, guys. And go ahead and just talk about the whole league. We might as well. Let's just go ahead and take off with it right now, guys. We are in that into the second hour. So make sure you lock in, man. It's the guys from Rec Room. This is In the Hoop. It is Friday, January the 23rd. We are going off right now about the Lakers and the turmoil that they are kind of in, and LeBron and Klutch Sports and Jeanie Buss, and apparently Luka not playing defense. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, y'all. The division discussion, man. Surprises, disappointments, outlooks, and more. So what I want to do is I kind of want to leave the floor open for everybody to just kind of throw it in there. We'll start off with a conference which oftentimes doesn't get a lot of respect. It's technically wide open right now for a new regime to take over, and it's in flux. Every other day, somebody's at the number 2 or number 3 spot, but they have got some guys on some of these teams that are making a lot of noise. And I think we're talking about a lot of them last year, but this is the year that we start off with the Eastern Conference. and of course, we gotta start at the top, fellas. It's so many ways that we can go with this. And Ev, you waited a good little minute to go last time. I'd love for you to just jump on this one first. East Coast, any
Okay.
team, your thoughts.
Okay, so listen, let me ask you guys first really quickly. How many realistic teams in the Eastern Conference this year do you think could win the championship? Now, let's do a hypothetical really quickly. Let's say Oklahoma City doesn't make it and they get upset early, so we don't know who's coming out of the West. How many realistic teams do you think out of the East could win? I just want to know how you guys feel.
I would say at
Is there
least
any?
3.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
I'll say 3.
okay.
And yeah, I'll say it was a good 3. And I
So
mean,
I'm assuming Knicks is one of those, correct?
Mm,
No?
I don't
nope,
know.
Okay.
no. I'm gonna
I
go
like
with
the
right now, and I've kind of gotten myself in trouble with this type of topic before,
Uh-oh.
but we're gonna go with I'm the Pistons. Not
Okay.
necessarily a surprise because I mean I would imagine a lot of people would consider them a surprise, but we've been talking about them probably for the last 2-3 seasons now.
For sure.
So I would say Pistons,
Yep.
Celtics, and even though the Magic is at number 7, I'm liking the Magic. I'm liking the
Okay.
Magic and the
Okay.
body of work that they put together because they have, and it's going to be a lot involved when it comes to the Magic. Can Ben Carroll pretty much be a leader, take over for the team, come through in the right situation? So that's a big question mark. But I mean, right at the top, man, you got the Pistons and the Celtics with no Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? And that type of team with that type of player sitting the bench, I would imagine, they would be coming out after the All-Star break with a fresh man. Usually Jason Tatum by the end of after the All-Star break, he just throwing up shots, just hoping they fall. You know what I'm saying? And carrying the team. And not saying he doesn't shoot well, it's just that they're looking to him constantly. So by the end of the season, he's pretty much kind of worn out. You know what I mean? Opposed to this season, we might end up getting a team that's on a good run, get hot at the right time, and then and end up, making like I said, a good run. But Pistons still kind of uncharted waters with them right now because they're still a young team. They still got a young guy that's never been in that situation. So those are a bunch of question marks on that team. But I would say maybe 3.
Okay, so Cleveland's not in that.
I would say 2. I would say Detroit. I agree with Jay on that. And
Okay.
if they continue playing like they are right now, I would say Philadelphia.
Okay.
If they stay healthy and continue playing like they are.
That's true.
Those would be the two like as a Thunder fan, if I'm having to go up against somebody from the Eastern Conference, those are the 2 teams that I would be worried about: is Detroit and Philly.
wow.
So no love for Cleveland at all anywhere, huh?
Oh, I was letting everybody else go first.
I was gonna say. So here's where here's my takeaway, right? Is I just feel like if a lot of times when I look at those 7-game series, I look at past experience and then I look at roster configuration, right? So I think if you trotted out Cleveland's starting 5, I think that Cleveland's starting 5 on a 7-game series for the most part can match up with anybody, right? And out of maybe everybody right now in the Eastern Conference, because Jason Tatum's out, so maybe other than Jaylen Brown, who has more big moment playoff experience than the Spider? So it's like, I really feel like I like Detroit. I like what they're doing. But, man, I still feel like I like Cleveland and I like the Knicks, man. I like both of those teams for some reason. I just like the way that they play. Let me just be as frank as possible. I personally don't think that there's any team that's going to win out of the East this year. I really think it's going to come out of the West regardless, because if it's not the Thunder, I really believe that the run that Joker is on, potentially, I feel like he could go get him another one. But I like Detroit, but I like Cleveland and New York a lot, man. I think Spider when it comes to the playoffs. I like Garland. Sam Merrill has been one of my guys. He could get off being injured. I just like what they do, man. And I think that come to shove, that would be a tough out in a 7-game series in the playoffs. So it's going to be tough to beat Celtics. It's going to be tough to beat Cleveland. It's going to be tough to beat Detroit. We're going to actually have some actual legit. So Charlotte was my team, man, but they can't stay healthy enough to be able to get rolling, because when that LaMelo, Con Caneppel, Brandon Miller trio is on the court, they got one of the best offensive ratings in the game. So I really like Charlotte's upside too, but it sounds like they want to get rid of Melo. So is that going to be a situation like they did with Trey Young? Can you believe they gave Trey Young away for nothing? Like, I just am
Yes.
so blown
Okay.
away by
Yes.
that.
Jay, tell
Oh,
him,
so
Jay.
you're
Yeah.
so you're not a Trey Young guy. Oh man.
Nah, it's
Okay.
not.
Trey
It's
Young
not
is
me being a Trey
trash.
Young guy. It's the fact that they knew they wasn't the Wizards knew he wasn't going to play this season. They're going for next season. They're basically tanking without just putting it out there.
For sure.
And then right, so they knew he wasn't coming back until they say he's going to get evaluated after the All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? I think he strained his MCL and then his quad, you know what I'm saying, on the same leg. So they knew what they would get. They knew they weren't going to get anything out of him. So they're building, and then we got one of their assets who they felt was ahead of schedule, which is Denny Avia.
Who's absolutely crazy.
Right. So they knew what they were doing. It's just that let's finish this tanking off, get Trey Young, and then that'll definitely put us in the running for getting one of these rookies that we've been raving about. One of these college guys we've been raving about. Early in the show. But I agree with you. It's going to be hard for any team in the East. But and I'm gonna the Cleveland thing. Bobby knows my Cleveland thing. But this season, you have to show me early in the season. So far, what I've been seeing, you have to show me somebody who's willing to stand up with Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
It's not necessarily about. Sorry, y'all see.
Hey, the wifey,
what
man.
just
I understand that.
Yeah.
We all understand that.
Uh-oh.
I'll take it over from here.
I thought he was gonna say the hot button, Bobby. I was waiting on it. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No,
I lost everybody.
Yeah, the thing is, there's two teams. There's the Knicks and there's Cleveland. And
he came back.
you look at is he back?
Yeah, I'm back. Bobby hit the button on me, man. So it's just when it comes to Cleveland, I think as long as Donovan Mitchell could stay healthy, which that became a problem in the playoffs, going into last season or last season. Now it looks like everybody's not producing like they were doing last year. And that's my only thing against Cleveland this year. But I think, anybody is capable in the East. It's wide open. I think it's wide open. If Donovan Mitchell could stay healthy and then everybody pretty much gets going, yeah, Garland stays healthy. I swear, Garland, like he finds some kind of way to, I'm gonna take me a little break. Like he ends up basically getting hurt, man. Somehow, some kind of way. But I agree also with the Sixers. But again, we got Embiid. We talking about Embiid. Once Embiid go out there and scores 50, 60, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Oh man, like they've been easing him in the right way, I think. And I think we'll see. They have the right guard, combo. They got the right guards going at it right now. But it's just Embiid. Like, what are you going to get in Embiid going late into the season? So the East is wide open. I just look at these teams. The Celtics are very dangerous because their hot man is chilling right now. And when he comes, and Whit is already trying to set up for why y'all not talking about the Celtics. So I'm not gonna say anything else about the Celtics, but yeah, like with Tatum chilling, what he's been doing, he looks like he's ready to go now. To me, look like he's ready to go now. So I like just let's everybody like beware in the East. It's gonna be wide open. I think it's gonna be wide open, and I agree with the Hornets. It's just, I think they'll find a way to just be young and not just like be young and do what young players do when it gets in the crunch time, and like what the hell happened? You know what I mean? So I just we'll see about the Hornets, but yeah, like right now they fighting for a play-in. So it's just it's wide open in the East. It's just as far as teams that can actually put something together to go on a run, there's only like a handful, if that can actually make some noise. We're not talking about the Bucks. That's weird. You know what I mean? But like when we talk about surprises, disappointments, like my surprise is my disappointment. Pretty much is kind of how bad the Bucks have been. That's one of my surprises. I mean, other than that, it's not too many surprises. Like I said, when we talked about the Pistons. We've been talking about the Pistons for about 3 seasons. Before they got it together, we were like they up and coming. They Cade Cunningham, they look pretty good. And then now here we are. They're top the league. Well, top, the East. So it's still wide open. And don't forget about the Raptors. They always going to find a way to be strong into the playoffs. So I think it's wide open, man. I think it's wide open. And I say I agree with everything. I agree with the Cavs outlook. It's just that one thing either happens. Either Donovan Mitchell gets injured, and it's always pretty much they struggling, or like I said in this situation, because we was watching the game, I was with doing the watching with the guys on Game Time 216, and I was being more positive than they were, man. They weren't feeling the team that day. And I was like, come on, man. Like, I need OKC to lose, man. Like, come on. You know what I'm
Jay, I was
saying?
about to say you really weren't watching the Cavs. You were probably just hate watching OKC, as you always do.
Nah, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't being negative on the Cavs. It was keeping it a buck, man.
They were.
They're not playing good basketball. I mean, if you last week on the episode, I said we're gonna lose this game by 50 points. Yeah, I mean they lost by 30.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I turned away when I saw the final score. I said, "Damn, I guess they were right."
Yeah, but no, I think it's two things: the Knicks and the Cavs. And I mean, ironically, the Cavs are playing. I won't say terrible basketball. They're playing bad basketball. They're playing really inconsistent basketball. Is what it is. They're definitely not. Nobody is playing to the level they played last season, minus Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's actually still, ironically, having another career year. He's averaging almost 30 points a game, shooting almost 50% from the field, 40 from three.
But do you feel?
Yeah. Go ahead.
My fault. I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to ask you this question. Do you feel like in other seasons, this season compared to other seasons, he's just like everything you just said. With everything you just said, do you still think he's a little low key compared to the seasons in the past?
What do you mean by low key?
Like
on the national scale?
No, not on the national scale. Just he's carrying a team, but it seems like in the past, I mean, he was carrying to the team to like at the end of the game. At the end of games, you like, he's struggling to even pretty much stay on the court. You know what I mean? Now, now all they need to do is play to his level.
No, I think it's the opposite this season because he's actually leading the NBA in second half points, leading the NBA in fourth quarter points, leading the league in fourth quarter average. Right. So he's not wearing down. He's actually ramping up exactly as the game goes on. But the issue is, I think the noise has gotten to this team to the point where they don't care about the regular season because they know they are going to be judged by what happens in April, May, and June. So they are trying to play to this point, and I think they have it set that they can flip this switch and they can go on this run when the playoff comes. Now, to be fair, our actual starting lineup has played 0 games together this season because obviously Darius started the season. He missed like the first month.
Right.
and Max Strus still hasn't played.
Still hasn't played. I think that switch still
Still.
could be flipped. I think
And
right now that switch could still be flipped.
and that is what everybody's hoping on. Wait till Strus comes back. Wait till we have our actual rotation. My concern is uh from Kenny, like you still have to coach who's there, bro. Like you don't have injuries, don't prevent you from setting and defining roles. Like
Yeah.
we tried the DeAndre Hunter as a starter thing, ain't worked out. He needs to come off the bench. Plain and simple. If Garland is not starting, Craig Porter Jr. should be starting at point guard.
Mm.
Period. Like you don't have to wait for injuries to or people to get healthy to define guys' roles. That way they know. And still don't think we've done that. Um, and honestly, it's an energy thing. Their energy, like when your second year player calls out the team for lack of effort, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
and not on top of that, when your second year player calls out the team for lack of effort, then the next night goes and drops 29 with 11 rebounds, and then comes back a couple weeks later and drops 39. That's a problem because now he's not only speaking it, he's showing you I ain't the problem. I ain't the problem. So you can't point the finger at me, or you can't say I'm getting too big for my britches. Look at what I'm doing. And honestly, he should be a candidate for most improved player. People don't know I'm talking Jalen Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
He actually called out the team in the media, and that takes with Donovan Mitchell sitting at the locker right next to him, listening. So that takes something.
That's a good
Um,
sign.
that's a good sign for him. I'm a fan of Jalen Tyson. I was on this team he should have been getting the Corals minutes last year. But yeah, if we get it together, sure, we go on the run and we still have the talent, we still have the quote unquote experience to get through the East, as beat up as it is. The Knicks, obvious, they have a 2K starting five, right? You basically got five all stars in the starting lineup. You got great leadership from Brunson. You have an experienced coach who's thanks to LeBron, he's coached in several deep running playoff series, right?
Right.
But just their roster, like, tells you that's a bad matchup for any team in the East. Could they beat a team in the West? Not OKC. Sure, they could even beat OKC if it came down to it, if the circumstance was right. But could they beat Minnesota in seven? Yep. Could they beat the Nuggets in seven? Yep. Could they beat the Spurs in seven? Yep. Is it likely? No. Same with the Cavs. Is it likely? No. But those two teams, I would take over any other team from the East.
So, what would you consider your surprise in the East? And that, I mean, I would say there isn't much. I'm sure again Whit's gonna get into it, but I'd say the Celtics, they have Jalen Brown, so it's not. But for them to be number two without Jason Tatum this long, that's a surprise. It's a surprise if they can consistently, and speaking in the terms of the Sixers, if they can ease Joel Embiid in towards the playoffs and get the best Joel Embiid, not the Joel Embiid we had. Nah, not that one. This one that we getting now, and he pretty much cruises. That's a bit of a surprise. And in fact, I'm a big believer in VJ when we was talking about the draft and everything. I'm a big believer, but to see him and Maxey mesh the way that they do, and not Edgecombe looks like he's been out there for at least about 3 years, right? I mean, he looks like he at least has the confidence put it instilled in him into to be able to pick his spots. You see him make a little rookie mistake here and there.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as surprises, I just think there aren't really many. But the standings outside of the Pistons being at number one, standings pretty much look the same.
-1. My surprise would be, and it's crazy because you knew they wouldn't be as good as they were last year. but I didn't expect this. It's the Indiana Pacers. How are they the worst team in the league? The impact that missing Miles Turner, I did not think would be that great. Again, you knew
Right,
they wouldn't be the same without Halliburton. Obviously, he's your best player, your leader. But 10 wins? Are you serious?
right.
10 wins from a team from a roster who was just playing. Literally, they were 30 minutes away from being champions of this league.
Hey, they got to win while we spoke, while we were
To,
speaking. They 11-35.
11 wins.
But just
Like,
like you said earlier, who you were
I was
saying
gonna
the other
say.
day
I was gonna
about
say the only reason why they beat us is because they hold a grudge, apparently. So
yeah, I would say so. But just like you said the other day, but I could have sworn I heard you say this. Where can you see a world where the Pacers end up with a AJ? The Pacers, like, I mean, hey, maybe it's, it's blessing in disguise. You know how they say.
Not for me. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, especially not in your division.
Nah, man, that's honestly, it'd be like adding like rookie Paul George to that squad. For real.
Right, and probably a little more athletic.
Yeah, with a real point guard.
Right. Oh wow. So yeah. So, I mean, Alan, what would you say as far as your surprises? Because I didn't hear you pretty much. I mean, is a real surprise in the Eastern Conference right now, and also is your surprise because I guess his Bobby's disappointment would be the Pacers. My disappointment.
My disappointment is the damn Cavs.
Oh man.
I mean, I haven't got to a disappointment, so that's my disappointment. And you made that clear about like with them not having Miles Turner, you would not picture it being take that much of a toll on that team. And I think it still did. It's just that's how much. Because remember when they lost Halliburton in the playoffs, Nembhard couldn't. They couldn't create like he creates. And that pretty much killed him. Like after that, that was it. It was it. Once Halliburton was done, that's it. That pretty much did it for him.
Yeah, it was game 7. So
yeah, but
anyway.
Yeah, but just the creation, like how the type of attention he demands. It's like you saw nothing being creative. Like they just passing the ball around. Like somebody please shoot. Somebody please shoot. You know what I mean? And it looked totally like a totally different offensive flow. Yeah. Totally different.
Which you better thank the basketball guys, Allen, because y'all lose that game 7 if Halliburton don't get hurt. I'm sorry. I stand on that hill.
You know what? You're probably right, to be honest, but I don't care. We still got to
care. I knew that was coming last time, but I don't care.
I will agree. I will agree with you, Jay. Pacers have really been disappointing. Missing Miles Turner has definitely killed them. I don't think even with Halliburton right now, they'd probably be middle of the pack still, but at least they'd be better than what they're playing, unless it's against us, and then they just play like, the freaking 80s Lakers for some reason, because we're like the 80s Celtics to them. But as far as surprises go, I'm actually surprised Toronto is as high as they are.
Really?
They're sitting there in the 4th spot. I didn't because the last couple of years I haven't really heard much from Toronto. They've quietly just kind of been flying under the radar. They play good basketball. They're staying consistent a little bit. They're not really one of the flashiest teams out there, but once the going gets tough, they usually play really, really good basketball. I would not be surprised, honestly, if this Toronto team were to maybe steal a series or two in the postseason in the Eastern Conference. Do I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat? Absolutely not. But I'm still kind of shocked by what I've seen from Toronto this year. They've been playing pretty well.
Well, remember last season, Scotty Barnes was hurt for most of the season.
Yeah.
So I think that had a big part in Brandon Ingram pretty much pushed them through, but Scotty Barnes wasn't there most of the season. So like,
and now you add RJ Barrett. you add RJ Barrett to that as well too. So
Well,
that
he was to me. He was struggling last season. He was struggling, He was trying to find his. After getting pretty much shipped off from New York, it seemed like he was struggling, trying to find his way into that offense. He looked like a totally different player when he first got to Toronto. Like he just forgot. Like, yo, what am I gonna do? Like he almost he was in crisis mode. But I think he finally settled in. And then along with Scotty Barnes being healthy, and then the young guys that they have, I think, man, I think they pretty much been staying afloat based on what's there for them. I think they pretty much took position of where they're supposed to be. So Whit's gonna pretty much I'm getting ready for this because he has the robe on.
I was gonna say I'm kind of excited to see what the future of both Toronto and Orlando is going to be in the next couple of years because I think they're starting to put together some pretty good rosters.
It's going to be Paolo leaving.
Yeah, I think Orlando is starting to get this rep, and we kind of forgot about this now. But Orlando, when Dwight Howard, dipped on them, they were starting to get this rep of not keeping their stars. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to follow suit again with Ben Carroll.
I mean, that went as far back as Shaq, right? When Shaq left for the Lakers.
Yeah,
right.
They all ended up gone. Shaq, Penny, every superstar they've had is left.
You should never let a Shaq go.
Late career, like prime years, they leave.
Right.
You would think with all the tax-free stuff they have in Florida, people would stay, but nope. Let's go to LA. Sure.
I mean, it's been the organization.
Yeah, then that's true. The organization itself hasn't been that great. Like you said, they've been letting a lot of star talent just leave by the wayside for no reason whatsoever.
Bunch of bad decisions. I mean, just think about it. If they would have been able to just, not even mend the fence, just be patient with literally. You trade T-Mac the summer that you get Dwight, and it wasn't like the T-Mac trade led you to getting Dwight. You had him anyway.
And T-Mac. Forgot about that.
Yeah. They literally had T-Mac and Dwight Howard on the same team.
Didn't they also trade Shaq before they got Tracy McGrady too? Like right before?
No, they didn't trade him. They were being cheap. They were being cheap. And Jerry West pretty much told Shaq, like, hey, if I can get you one, it was actually lower than what they gave him, what they ended up giving him, but whatever that number was, he was like, if I could get you that number, would you come?
Y'all know what it was? Y'all know what it was for Shaq? And he said it multiple times. Jerry, the Buss family in essence, right, gave him a stake in what was at the time the Staples Center. So the money was less than what Orlando was going to do, but the point was having a stake in the Staples Center as a whole for as long as it was the Staples Center. That's what Shaq had.
That's where Shaq got all the money for all those businesses. Goddamn.
That's why Shaq left. That's why Shaq left. And I'm gonna go ahead and get off my little couple, man. So, for real, I'm gonna do my disappointment. So for me, if y'all remember, man, December the 16th, we were all kind of still, catching the vibe from football, but to see the Knicks win the Emirates Cup, right, the in-season tournament, and then to kind of go, okay, Mike Brown knows what he's doing. Look at this roster. It's the same guys. They've been doing well before. They're healthy. He goes Cat. They go Brunson. No. Something is wrong. That's why when Evan was saying the Knicks, I don't know. I don't necessarily know what's going on. In my time for preparation for this show, which we could have did a week or two ago, I've been really heavily on certain podcasts. Big shouts out to the Hoop Collective and Tim Bontemps and all those guys. They get together. It's murmurs right now that Cat and Mike Brown have not ever seen eye to eye. The sets that they're running obviously do not include Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is cleaning the glass. Karl Anthony Towns is getting that second and third rebound. He's doing a really great job of rebounding. He's actually up in his rebounding stats from the last 2 years. But as far as the ball being in his hands for him to be the shooter that he really wants to be, or for him to even be in the paint like he thinks he should, it's really not happening. And there's a lot of murmurs, man, about what's going on with the Knicks. And as I saw something that I was worried about, as of January 23rd, in the last 20 days, they've lost 7 games from the 3rd to the 23rd. So, but the teams they lost to, these are all close games where it turns out that it looks like the effort is turned off because of how they're playing, not necessarily who's playing. Because of course we all know that Thibodeau roster was just basically just 8 people, although it was a full set of people. It was 6 or 7 that they were just running to the ground. But a loss to Philly, a loss to Detroit. Of course, let's ex-nay those. This is what I wanted to say. The 3rd, it was the Philly. On the 5th, it was Detroit. But then you got Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State on the 15th, Phoenix again, and Dallas. And that Dallas game a couple days ago was one I watched from beginning to end. And I wish Evan was here so we could talk about his boy in the main event. It didn't look cohesive. It did not. But to go from beating the Spurs in December to now, I really can't put my finger on it. To me, that's disappointing. I was expecting a lot from the hiring of Mike Brown. I was expecting the Knicks to take that next step. Without Jason Tatum on the Celtics, I was like, yo, it's the Knicks and Detroit, and it's up. But it's really not happening. Which gets me to my next point. You know, my biggest surprise is really not a surprise, to be honest with you, bro. Jaylen Brown is out here in the streets by himself, dropping 29.8 points, 6.7 rebounds, 5 assists and some change. Come on, dog. 4th overall in points right now. I mean, it's been said over and over again. Oh, Jason Tatum is the star, the lead guard, the blah blah blah. Jason Tatum should have got the MVP. No, he shouldn't have. Jaylen Brown is showing you exactly who should have got what. With him playing this way, I think this is a great showing of just, you know, how much work he's really been putting in. Because, you know, of course, man, Jason Tatum, awesome player, one of my favorite players to watch on the court. I got a chance to watch him in Orlando. It's night and day. And the thing is, the roster is constructed to have a certain type of ball movement and a lot of defense. But the main thing is the ball movement contributes to the 3-point shots that the team shoots all day long. Second highest percentage of 3-point shots shot in first and second quarters. The Boston Celtics do that. But even without the percentage on the regular basis staying around, fluctuating between 32 to 38%, you still got Jaylen Brown going out there, going hard, going crazy in the paint. I mean, it's working. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I was extremely skeptical of what was going to happen without Jason Tatum this year. But as I look around, as I look at the roster itself, I'm seeing the team being picked up not just by Jaylen Brown but coaching as well. I think it's a really great opportunity to say, hey, look, if we could just get into the playoffs and possibly add a Jason Tatum who did a 60-minute workout the other day, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know, 60 minutes in front of the media, a lot of sprinting, a lot of athletic movements, dunking, shooting, moving his feet, playing defense. He did all of that for 60 minutes yesterday just to show that he is progressing. Do we want to rush him back? No. Let's give Derek White some love. Let's let Peyton Pritchard play a little more. Let's oh yeah, Jay, you should like this. Anthony Simons is out here.
Move on, bro. Just keep
Anthony
talking,
Simons is out here, Jay. Anthony Simons, Jay, you my boy. Anthony
don't play
Simons,
no defense though.
Watch. Hey, he looked like he closed his eyes. He squint a little bit. Don't he look like Dame? He squint a little bit. He looked just like Dame out there, boy. He go out there and shoot. I'm with it. Like the roster was not looking how I thought it would be, a cohesive unit. But you take away Jason Tatum, you put Jaylen Brown on the bench, you insert somebody like Anthony Simons, you insert Sam Hauser, You insert Luka Garza, who I really had high hopes for coming from Minnesota, and then you give those guys an opportunity to put the ball on the floor. I think for real, my biggest disappointment is the Knicks as of right now. But one of my biggest surprises, and I shouldn't have been surprised, I should have had more faith in them, is Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. Straight like that. And you know, and I think it's really up. I was gonna say it's three teams, you know, when Evan was asking the question. You know, and Detroit, man. What else can we say? You guys covered it all. Detroit really has some pieces, man, and it's crazy to say, you know, the best is yet to come for them in the Eastern Conference. But as we continue on, you know, West Coast, Western Conference, same question, fellas. I mean, it's like surprises and disappointments, and I'll just go ahead and go first, man. For me, I really gotta say this, bro. I think we're forgetting about how great Russell Westbrook is out, even though he's out there in the Kings uniform. When the times change and these players who are in this era are no longer here, or they're gone, and you know we're gonna miss them. We Russell Westbrook is one of them, bro. He's out here. He's still triple doubling on a very irrelevant team. When I say very irrelevant, yes, it's the Kings. Yes, it's Sacramento. Yes, they can do better. But what else are we hoping for when we talk about Sacramento? Zach LaVine? Are we do we or what else? We know what Zach LaVine gonna do. That's easy. He gonna put up buckets. Is he gonna play defense? Probably not. You know, DeMar DeRozan. We already, and the funny thing
They
is the
shopping
DeMar
him.
DeRozan, yeah, the DeMar DeRozan Zach LaVine matchup didn't really work in Chicago, but of course they trying to run it back. All right, cool. But somewhere we get Russell Westbrook, who surprisingly, is actually shooting a better percentage of 3-point shots than he has ever done. And this is crazy. He's doing it right about now at this point in his career. So it's wild to watch someone that good of or from that era still putting up points, because you know LeBron's putting up points, Steph putting up points, and Russ is out here putting up triple double. Disappointment wise, you know, I hate this. I hate this. I'm going to get into a little more of another piece of it when we go forward, but because I don't want to take up too much time. But I'm disappointed in the Warriors, bro. I'm disappointed in the Warriors, man. And it's unfortunate that as I speak about disappointment, there's something that just happened that we really could not have predicted. As Jimmy Butler has, you know, injured that right ACL again, which at the age of 37, there's only two players that at the age of 37 have had the ACL tear and then returned. You know what I'm saying? And done anything in the equivalent of what they've already been known for. So big prayers go out to, you know, Jimmy Butler, who's, you know, surprisingly, like, you know, we don't, when I think about Jimmy Butler, I don't think about him being 37. He's been in the league that long already. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, this Kaminga talk and Jay's been around for that. Like out of nowhere, right? Jimmy Butler gets hurt. Kaminga gets some burn. He twists his ankle. He hyperextends his knee. Now what? We probably could have made some moves to, and when I say we, I mean the roster or the front office for the Warriors. They probably could have made some moves earlier on, gave away Projevsky, gave away Kaminga, got some picks, got some bodies, and made some real leeway for that team right now. I have been one of the hugest proponents of saying, hey, look, man, Draymond Green got all the rings, has been a cornerstone player for the franchise. Let him ride out his last year in Detroit and go get some of them young boys across from that. That's what I really feel like. That is one of the things that should have been done. Draymond Green, go play your last year in Detroit. Go be in front of your family from Saginaw. Let them come see you play ball. Go show the young players in Detroit what it takes to win a championship, but then send some of them bodies back to Golden State. I think that should have happened. And right now, as we go into the trade deadline in 2 weeks, We got a almost hurt Kaminga. We got a all the way hurt Jimmy Butler, and we got Steph out here shooting his behind off, losing his mind, going crazy, playing with Buddy Hield. We could have fixed this months ago, guys. If I was in if I was in the Warriors front office, but it is what it is. So even though I'm there's way more things to talk about, especially in the Western Conference. And I think one of y'all are going to bring up one of my things I kind of had second, but for sure though, my biggest surprise is Russell Westbrook finding relevancy in the Kings uniform. My biggest disappointment is the Warriors not doing enough, and then these injuries just happening to them right about now.
I mean, and I'm real quick back with Allen's point about the Raptors. We're currently losing by 8 to the Raptors with 52 seconds left to go in the game. The hottest team in the league right now is losing to the Toronto Raptors. I mean, I guess I could take, man, my surprise, man, honestly. And I was hoping, I was like, hope nobody takes my. I wanted to go next so I could say this team first, but man, how about the Phoenix Suns, man? And Dylan Brooks looking out here looking like he got an offensive game, man. Like I'm totally surprised by the Suns. Yes, you got Booker out there, but I didn't see them at 6. I didn't see Dylan Brooks playing to the way he's been playing. My surprise isn't my disappointment. My disappointment is going to be the most obvious one that we're seeing right now, which is a New Orleans Pelicans. We're hearing more about. I'm gonna leave him. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. Pelicans are a disappointment. Let's just put it like that, man. I at least, you got a promising rookie and Queen, and it's like.
Yeah, shout out Patrick Queen for real.
Yeah, like, do you get rid of, Mr. Loverboy? Like, do you get rid of him at this point? Because
Zion pushed the button on him.
Yeah. Hey man, listen, I was gonna chime in on this one, and I knew it. The whole point was that's another organization that I think when Brandon Ingram is now thriving in a Toronto Raptors uniform because of the situation, man. Should they have pushed the button on Zion, bro? Should they have put? Were you getting to that? Were you getting to that, Jay? You think they should have pushed the button on him by now?
I mean, they need to do it now. It's gonna be done on this in the next couple weeks. Yeah, I think the weather's affecting me because it never kicks me out like this. But I think the weather's getting bad at this point over here. But
I was gonna say I've got a blizzard going on right now, and my internet's fine. I don't know what's going on down there.
Nah,
it's cold out there, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, like the Pelican. Yeah, you push the button, man. You get rid of them. Playing.
No, see, you stop talking about the boys, man. Stop talking about them.
Yeah, and like you were saying, you push the button. Jay, you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm just trying to. Yeah, I'm not even on the internet right now. I'm not on my Wi-Fi, so it's just.
He's in the upside down. That's what he is.
Yeah, upside down.
Zion figured out his cell carrier and is like, "Yep, we're shutting this down right now."
Yeah, but you get rid of him, man. You push the button on him. You got to let him go. You're not getting anything out of him. You got a promising rookie. It's not gonna get no better. You know what I'm saying? So just let him go. Go ahead and tank just like the Wizards are trying to do.
And I'm not even. I didn't even mean to. I meant to kind of like gloss over that just real quickly. Y'all, I feel like the Wizards are repeating what they did to John Wall to Trae Young right now, and the Wizards was really good at doing that the first time. And then of all of y'all remember what happened? If it wasn't for coaching, John Wall went to the Rockets and It looked all right over there. But anyway, continue on.
We're not gonna do that to that. No. We're not. Nah. Trae Young did that to himself. First of all, Trae Young, the empty calorie stats with finally a chance to get. He asked to go to the Wizards. So he asked to go to the Wizards. He could have went to a team that was winning. He could have got some win, but he chose empty calorie stats over playing winning basketball. So yeah, we ain't going ain't letting that dude off the hook.
Yeah. Man. Patrick Queen though, Jay. For real. Patrick Queen in that New Orleans.
And Jeremiah. Don't forget about Jeremiah Fierce.
Jeremiah Fierce. Yeah. I really feel that one, bro.
Hey, shout out to Jeremiah Fierce, former center. Gotta love it. He's doing good. I'm glad he's doing good.
What's up, Miss Parlay? We see you.
Man.
Yeah, it's you gotta let the guy go, man. You gotta let Level Boy go, man. You gotta go.
Hey man, if any more of his DMs come out, because these women are literally making him look such like the simp, man. It's unfortunate, man, because he's from where we're from, but he missed out on a lot of free game, man, because he was so consumed with basketball. He missed out on a lot of free game he could have got, probably.
I mean, it ain't tricking if you got it.
For sure.
In his case, yes, it is, man. Yes, it is.
It's still tricky.
Like,
still.
In his case, yes, it is, man. You got to be low key, bro. Like, you got to start doing NDAs and taking phones, man. Do like Drake does, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Confiscate phones. Do something.
Please.
Damn, we lost. But yeah, like, nah, he come on, man. That's too much. Like, James Worthy, put it like this, like, James Worthy is, y'all saw it. If anybody has not seen the Showtime Lakers, the little series that they had, James Worthy was the catalyst in all of that. Big Game James was not just about him playing well at big games. I'm saying that you able to stay low key and still handle business, man. You're able to stay low key, still handle business, man. And he ain't staying. He's handling business. You know what I'm saying? But he's not low key. He ain't staying low key. And like all these girls should not be able to just blow him up. Like with all these relationships, what he's been, what he likes, his fetishes. Come on, man. And of course, we're living in a different time now. But maybe James Worthy would have been out there like that if we had social media and stuff like that. But nah, man. Like, point is, push the button. Let him go. He went to Duke, so I'm not even say his name. Maybe if he went to Carolina, I would have a little more sympathy for him, man. Let his ass go. So we rounding
West
out.
Coast disappointments. Yeah, about to say West Coast disappointments, man. It's and if don't nobody got no more, shoot, we'll go ahead and roll on to the next one. Go ahead.
There's no other bigger disappointment in the NBA than Ben Simmons.
What coast is he on? What coast is he
on? You know what?
This
is my fault.
This is my fault.
This is my fault. Yeah, he's right.
Wow.
But isn't he on? Where does he play? What did he play?
Where's he playing right now? What is going on?
No, he's not playing anybody. He's fishing.
But where did he play before he?
The Clippers.
Clippers.
He's on the Clippers.
Yep.
And Ty Lue was supposed to be getting the best out of him, I thought. That wasn't that the point?
Hey.
He reeled him in.
Hey,
Wow.
look at their logo.
What
Look at their logo. He was looking at the logo one day and was like, you know
chips?
what?
Nah, he was looking at uh inside the NBA during the playoffs and got inspired when they said they gone fishing. Yeah, he got
Oh,
He just
inspired
stayed there. He
and
just stayed there.
took it literal.
you know, and as you talk about that, bro, like I heard Ryan Clark ask Rich Paul something about him, and I it makes me think about the answer that he gave when they were, having a conversation. He was like,
Mm,
some people dream about making it to the NBA.
hmm
Not being the best at the position, not being the best all time, not, you know, having a 10, 12, 15-year career, just
Yeah,
making it.
yeah.
And he was like, he said it, man. He was, and, without putting it out there like that, Ryan Clark, he goes, so is that what you saying about Ben Simmons? He's like, that's, Rich Paul got the real quick rebuttal, because he's so good at backing down and of course being politically correct. He said, I did not say that it was about him, but there are people who that is their dream, and if they accomplish it, then that's all they want. So it makes
I,
me feel like that's exactly what happened to Ben Simmons.
no, I said like, and this is all jokes aside. I know I make a lot of fun of Ben Simmons, but this is all jokes aside. He told us who he was his whole life. Like I don't think Ben Simmons ever loved basketball. I think he just happened to be tall, and it was something that he people expected of him because of his stature, and he turned out to be good at it. Again, uh, there's a saying: when somebody shows you who they are, tells you who they are, believe them. At LSU, he told you who he was. His team did not make the NCAA tournament, and they had a chance to go to the NIT, and they did not go because he did not want to play. What player who was about to be billions of dollars, and it could be a literal question of whether you go first, second, or third, is going to turn down the opportunity to further show scouts why he should be number one.
Right. Especially when
Like,
LSU wasn't even in
right,
any tournament at all.
right, and not only that. Remember, just because he's guaranteed, there are other players on that team who needed the spotlight, who needed the opportunity to be seen,
Right.
and he still let that go because he did not want to play. That showed you right there. He didn't want to be. He never wanted to be in the spotlight. So yeah, I'm. It could be a thing. Yeah, he could have been wanted to make it just for the money. But I truly don't believe Ben Simmons ever really loved the game of basketball. I think he liked playing basketball, but I don't think he ever loved game basketball.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, might be right about that one.
Uh, and I'll go ahead and give mine real quick. First thing though, I just got a message from Scott, and he said he's very disappointed in the lack of Celtics talk tonight, but that's neither here or there. Um, Second, as far as surprise and disappointments, I agree with the Pelicans there. I mean, just awful team, one of the worst teams in the league. Uh, I'm surprised there's not a whole fire sale going on with them right now, especially with Zion. It's you've got a lot of young guys in there who are ready to step up and play. It's time to kind of fix things up.
Yeah.
As far as the surprise goes, I know before the season, I said that this team was going to be kind of a dark horse, kind of a sleeper team, but I did not expect them to be the second best team in the West, and that's the San Antonio Spurs. I've
Mm.
been really impressed with what they've done this year, and I mean, yeah, they've beaten us 3 times, so I got to give them credit for that. They've taken us basically to the woodshed so far this year. So. Um, I've been really impressed with how Wimby's game continues to evolve and how well that they put that roster together. Yeah, like I said, I didn't expect them to be the second best team in the West so far this year, and it looks like if it's not us, it might be San Antonio repping the West in the finals this year.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Hey, those games that San Antonio put on, they have been putting on now. Which after they beat y'all, it almost seemed impossible for the Knicks to go in there and beat them. But they can be beaten. So I feel you on that, Alan. That's a great surprise.
I'm not feeling Phoenix though. Y'all not feeling Phoenix at all, man? I mean, I'm not asking anybody to agree with me, but I'm kind of I don't know. I'm still surprised, man. And not really necessarily Phoenix, yeah, but Dylan Brooks. He was straight trash, man. When he was he he was looking bad, yo. When he was in Houston, man, he was looking bad. You know what I mean? He had no offensive game whatsoever. They was pretty much dumping him off, leaving him for dead when they sent him to Phoenix. They was like, "Oh, he done." Like, so I hope they was like, "Man, I hope Booker get out of there." You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody was saying. At the beginning of the season, like, yeah, Booker, he's gonna want out. And I mean, I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to make a case for him, but I'm a little surprised that nobody else said Phoenix. But we're not supposed to always agree, so let's say the same thing at least. But yeah, man, I'm really, really, really surprised about Phoenix, and like I said, mainly Dylan Brooks. You know what I'm saying? I'm also surprised. Well, I was about to give away what Whit got for us, man, but uh, I'll let you do your thing, Whit.
Yeah, yeah, real quick, we might as well just go ahead and kind of run into the second little tidbit, man, that we had kind of come up with, me and Jay. So it's kind of weird how this thing is set up, right? So Martin Luther King Day, right, is a national holiday where we
Oh
celebrate,
man,
the civil rights leader, and holding hands, and nonviolent protests, and marches on Washington, things of that nature. And right after that, we got rivalry week, a whole week based around teams possibly not liking each other. But at the same time, y'all, like, is it really rivalry week? It's kind of hard to say. Rivalry week? Is it really rivalry week? Or nah? Like, um, Jay and I were having a conversation, man. We were kind of going, back and forth about this. And this one doesn't have to be too long because we already reached the 2 hours, guys. Those old, I'm thinking about those old NBA on ABC, clips when it was like, the Davis brothers in New York, and Charles Oakley and the Knicks and the Pacers, and they were going at it in the regular season, and then they were going at it in postseason. You know what I'm saying? That is a rivalry. You know what I mean? The Knicks and the Heat, another version of a rivalry. Bobby, you a Cavs fan, man. Even though it really was really one sided, I remember specifically those Cavs Washington Wizards matchups that were in the regular season and that would lead to the postseason. And of course, the Cavs always would come out on the other end as winners. But I can't remember which season it was, but I remember the season where, like, the Wizards won all of the games, and they was like, "Yeah, we finally got them." And of course, LeBron smokes them in the playoffs. Like, that to me was a rivalry. When Steve Nash got traded to Phoenix, and all of a sudden, Dallas is winning, and they not, and you got Amari Stoudemire Duncan. I felt like that was a rivalry. And a lot of times, to be honest with you, all of the Dallas teams going against each other, especially y'all remember the rodeo road trip that the Spurs would take, and the Spurs would play everybody in Dallas, in the Texas area, like twice. That sparked
Texas
rivalries as
Triangle.
well. Yeah, exactly. With I can keep going. Lakers in Sacramento, when they got Mike Bibby and Chris Webber, and and Vlade Divac, and they were trying everything they could to beat the Lakers. That spawned a rivalry. Like, is there any other true rivalries right now that we can point to, guys, or are we past that?
Mm, I don't
Uh,
think we're past it. It just hasn't been created. There's not
right.
been a rivalry you can point to since Cavs Warriors. Like, I mean, and it could be a good thing. Just a sign of parity, right? There's been so much turnover in the league since then, and that's why we haven't had a repeat champion in almost 10 years, right? Um, but it's looking like it could be developed. I mean, they continue to build around Ant Man. Minnesota could be there. You could be Minnesota, OKC, San Antonio. You can see those teams battling for the future. And in the East, as long as some of these organizations are able to keep their players, like I mean, I know we just joked a couple seconds ago about Paolo leaving Orlando, but if they do it right, Paolo could carry that franchise. We'll see what happens with the Celtics roster. Um, a team like the Pacers, once they get healthy, obviously they can end up with a lottery pick this year. With that, what I mean, you have the potential for some going forward, but as of right now, there's nothing.
Mm, big on that.
I agree with the fact that there's nothing really right now. I think we're starting to see, especially this year, we're starting to see a little bit between OKC and San Antonio, um, but especially when it comes to the whole Chet and Wemby debate, in which, uh, in that regard, and then of course, the games have been close every time, and then other than the one time that they just completely stomped us out, but. Um, that's started to become kind of a thing, especially here locally. A lot of people don't like we. If you saw the last time we played San Antonio, we stole their opening ceremony tradition right in front of Wimby's face, which was hilarious. But um, so yeah, I would say that's starting to develop a little bit. Obviously, Indiana thinks they have a rivalry with us, but it's nothing. Uh, I don't know. But like you said, I don't think there's really a true rivalry right now. I think you could say maybe us at San Antonio is starting to become one, but other than that, I really can't say if there's a rivalry or not.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I had something really bothering me. I had to take care of. I think I'm getting a toothache. It's terrible. But yeah. But I I pretty much say the same thing, man. As far as the most exciting one this season to me has been OKC and San Antonio, even though uh San Antonio is doing a thing. One game left to play between them. No, yeah, and
I
I
got
don't
two.
know. They got two more.
Yeah, because remember they played in the in season tournament, so
Yeah,
that like a
That's how
extra.
they ended up.
Yeah, it's like an extra
Okay.
game.
yeah, they didn't send the
Oh,
tournament.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So, um, but I remember, and I guess, like I agree with Bobby. There isn't really much out there right now. Um, I thought at some point y- you muted me, man. Did I do something wrong?
Oh,
Did you
what?
know?
That was my fault.
I was
No, 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 no,
wondering.
no. I was trying to
I
click
was
on my.
like, what's wrong with my? I was like, yo, I don't remember pressing the mute button. Matter of fact, anyway. But shoot, those come on, come back. So I just go into an old rivalry that I don't think anybody's gonna mention. I remember when, and what I was about to say finally came back, but the Spurs and the Rockets used to be a pretty, just like you said Texas, but I'm talking about the Spurs and the Rockets when they still had David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon. That was a pretty dope rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and then at this point, you thought that you were gonna get like a Jokic, or should I say a Denver, Minnesota, or Denver and I guess like whoever's like Minnesota. You know what I mean? But with Jokic not necessarily being in, kind of kills it a little bit, even though it's still competitive when you got Jamal Murray out there and everybody doing what they're doing. Um, and I think that could anybody with the Nuggets in the West. You know what I'm saying? As far as the top Western teams could be a pretty good rivalry, and including OKC, of course. And we still haven't gotten to see too much of Wemby Jokic. You know what I'm saying? So that will probably end up being pretty big. So like it's stuff out there. It's just that like Bobby spoke to the parity, and I think sometimes when they get the opportunity TV wise, they try to throw out teams that nobody's watching so that everybody can get a little piece of the pie. Because we was talking about the other day. I was like, yo, I was making up playoff matchups between the Hornets and the Cavs. Because I couldn't understand when I first looked at it. I was like, rivalry. We're gonna start this up with the Hornets and the Cavs. I was like, well, damn, they must have played. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They played in the playoffs. It was a good series. I was like, it didn't feel right, but then Bobby was like, "Nah, we never played them in the playoffs." I was like, "So what the hell we do? What are they doing? What were they doing?" So yeah, like it didn't make sense to me. So that was very weird to me. To start everything off, it was just weird. So I think they're trying to give these teams, especially these young teams, a little bit of airplay. You know what I mean? To kind of give everybody a piece of the pie. And just hoping that it sticks. You know what I mean? And it didn't. Like I mean, Cavs came. I mean, Hornets came back, but they were losing for most of the game. So I mean, I didn't understand that. I still don't understand that matchup. I still do not understand why they started everything up with that. But hey, they killed it for me. I haven't looked at another game this week as far as since I don't even care. Like if you can tell me like, hey, these teams that played each other in the past played, I'm like, man, I don't care. Like it started off bad. When you go on a date and it's just some things you just can't come back from when you have a bad date. You know what I mean? And yeah, that wasn't the matchup I wanted to see to start off what they would call an exciting week of rivalry basketball. You know what I'm saying? And that's yeah. I gotta say it slow. I'm sorry. Just like you
Good,
said, it's
great,
hard to
great
say.
enunciation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do it because I'm gonna say Robert, like every time I try to say it. So yeah, I mean, nah, it's nothing out there, man. Nothing out there. I miss the old joints, man. Like I said, I miss damn Steve Nash getting thrown to the scores table, man. You know what I'm saying by Robert Ory. Was that yeah by
Yeah,
Robert Ory. You know what I'm saying?
You sure it wasn't
I
Samaki
miss
Walker?
no, it was Robert Ory.
That
Oh,
was
okay.
Robert Ory. Robert Ory. But yeah, man, I miss those old rivalries that the Knicks and the Heat. It's like you said, Knicks and Heat, Knicks Pacers. You knew somebody was going to fight. Somebody was going to be walking off the court like holding their eye or something like that. So nah, it'll never be like that again, especially with the way the game is called now. So we'll get something back. I think it just has a lot to do with some of the players that we've been seeing down, especially Jokic. Because Jokic and any top team in the West could make a good matchup. You know what I mean? So it's really about the marketable players now.
I don't know. I don't even think it got to be like a level of hate or like the way the game is. Like, it ain't got to be super physical like it was back then. Like, you think about the Cavs Warriors, the thing, obviously, other than competing for the championship, the thing that made it is
Yeah.
we really didn't like them. And they really didn't like us. And the trash talk, like, Draymond mm, saying that we
Yeah.
suck at the trophy pair, and then us winning the chip, and LeBron wearing the Ultimate Warrior T-shirt at our trophy celebrate, and LeBron making the Halloween cookies with Clay and Steph in the graveyard.
Oh, yo,
Like
I
it
forgot
was,
about that.
yeah, it was other things, and like,
Oh,
nah, this generation of players, they don't. There's no, like, there to me there are like three players who are like building the potential to have rivalries with anybody. and that's Ant-Man. Because of this generation, he's probably the best trash talker, and he goes out there and backs it up every night. Ja, just too bad he can't stay on the court. And then Dylan Brooks, because he just makes you want to hate him, right? And if you hate him, then you gotta hate his whole team. But other than that, man, it's just, and I hate to say it because I hate it, want to sound like this. It's just too much love, man. Too much love. And Celtics fans, I know y'all always try and overblow every time y'all beat us. It's just not the same, man. Celtics fans are just mad because LeBron put them out in the playoffs 3 years in a row. But that rivalry is dead because like it ain't even like in the same ball. Well, now we probably in the same ballpark, but like that stretch there, y'all were just better than us. It wasn't a rivalry once LeBron left. But yeah, man, it's too much love. Somebody got to start hating somebody, man. And I don't know who's gonna hate. Where's the hate, man? The player haters ball. We need to have one in the NBA, man. Hate.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
want
tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what hate and disdain look like. And I know when I say this name, everybody gonna get the picture. I remember they used to do those inbounds close up shots of like who was guarding LeBron, and it'd be like Lance Stevenson staring at LeBron, like eyes real big, like it'd be Lance Stevenson just staring at LeBron, like waiting for LeBron to get the ball. Like that was what made rivalries back then. You know what I'm saying? Colin Sexton staring at whoever was in front of him. Colin Sexton was one of the funny guys. Defense. You know what I'm saying? What all I'm getting the equivalent to is saying that when the rivalry is happening, it even makes you defend the person differently. Now you don't got to be rough, you don't got to be physical, you don't got to hurt the person, but you're going to play defense in a different manner. And when they get the ball, or before they even get the ball, you were on them mentally. Kevin Garnett was one of those people that did that as well. But I digress. We already passed. We about to get to 2:30, man. We're gonna go ahead and do this, man. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Wow, the closeout, right? For the first time in 15 years, no big three in the shoe game. I think this is extremely important. This doesn't really have anything to do with on the court matters, but this is really an off the court business standpoint. Now, y'all know what I'm talking about when it goes to the big three, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In a 15-year span, we're talking about LeBron, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. Now, peep this out, right? So the idea is LeBron signed his shoe deal for $90 million, May 22, 2003. KD gets his signature shoe. Right. Well, first of all, he signs with Nike in 2007 with the Supersonics, $60 million deal. He actually rejected an even higher offer from Adidas. And then, of course, later, KD gets a signature shoe. Steph was at first with Nike, but then he shifted to be the number one endorsed player by Under Armour as the contract began to reflect his upheaval of the 3-point shot and the changing of the game. Now, after that, that's all three of them in 2013. I think the next best come up at that time, and if I could be wrong, but the next best signature shoe line was the Kyrie Irving in the middle of that time. Of course, the Hardens did come out, but as far as intercepting between 1, 2, or 3, the only other one was the Kyrie Irving at the time. Now, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but Steph Curry, right, ended his partnership after a successful 12-year deal with Under Armour, and they decided to part ways amicably. Like, look at it. Rivalry, amicably rivalry. Here we go. So now, if you haven't been paying attention, Steph has been going off, and I think this is kind of a good thing, Steph Curry don't need nothing else. He really, he's got the rings, he's got the shooting titles, he's got the scoring titles, he's got pretty much everything you can imagine, making him sign a deal which kind of restricts his creativity as far as his gear is concerned, which of course we all know how the younger generation likes these different colorways and these different styles and low top, high top, and all that stuff like that. Steph Curry's taking it to another level. Because when the partnership ended in last year in November, we've seen him in some Kobe's, we've seen him in Sabrina Ionescu threes, we've seen him in Jordans, but we've also seen him in Reeboks. He's put on some Shaq Gnosis. We saw the original white and black pair. We saw the Penny Hardaway. We seen the Penny ones and the Penny twos. He went out and balled out him. He also, of course, wore what is that? I gotta because I got a list. Okay. We saw him come out in some Klay Thompsons with the Anta KT11s. Y'all know what it is. Klay Thompson's Anta shoes are highly favorable over there in the Asian market right now. But then I think one of the biggest things is him showing the love to the WNBA players and the female players. So I think that was one of the big things when he got on the Sabrina Ionescu's. Then we got the Puma Lee Nings. He wore Tyrese Halliburton shoes. That's Tyrese Halliburton shoe. And then he slid in a couple Curries, but at the same time, we saw the Anta KT11s on Christmas Day against the Dallas Mavericks. And then on and off the court, he's worn two of Candace Parker's two different Adidas as well. One of the landmark deals that a woman has made for shoes, and it was originally Candace Parker. So I say this, is there a time? Are we coming to a time where the signature shoe is not ideal for star players, or is this just an apparition because it's Steph Curry? He's already got everything. He really don't need a shoe deal. He doesn't need the money. You know what I'm saying? He's already made a name for himself. This is a one-time thing, and that's, in my opinion, is really just because it's Steph Curry. You know what I mean? He's like, what else can we say about him? Rings, he got him. MVP, he got him. Beat LeBron. It's all kinds of stuff he can put on the wall. Now he can ride off into the sunset and just wear what he wants. Just throw something on. And of course, he shows his boy love. Shows Klay Thompson don't need no love. He got Meg the Stallion, but at the same time, let me put the shoes on. Let me rock with my boy a little bit. I think that's cool that you get to do that at the end of your career, because we are closer to the end of Steph Curry's career than the beginning. So that's it, man. The big three is no more after 15 years, man. Just as of right now, Steph and KD still going. And then, of course, Kyrie did get with the I should say the Asian brand of Antas. And Kyrie debuted his shoes last off season, and I thought they was pretty dope. He got the moccasin look, showing off his respects to his Native heritage, his Native American heritage, and I thought they were rather dope. Are they the kids' number one shoe in America right now, or top five like they were when he was with a major brand? No, but the creativity that Kyrie Irving got to exhibit when he went and got his own shoe, his new shoe deal, I can appreciate from a standpoint of fashion and whatnot.
Like that.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just saying I like that. I mean, even though I was just about to start buying Kyrie's, you know what I mean? I can still get him. You can still find him somewhere.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with him. I was like, yo, I'm gonna start, because like I said, I got big feet. So Kyrie kind of had some shoes that didn't quite have that big like boat look if I would have buy them. You know what I'm saying? So I was stopped. For real, man, I can't wear everybody's shoes, man. They don't look too good. So yeah, I started, sizing them up and pretty much was like, yeah, I could wear Kyrie's, and then, you know, that was it. But nah, I agree. You know what I mean? I mean, there's, you got, and I don't like those things, man. I don't like his shoes, his shoe line at all. I couldn't wear those. See, those would that's a good example right there. I can't wear those. So yeah, but I definitely agree, man. It's a good take on Steph.
Mike on mute, bro. Oh, he talk. Oh, he talk.
I was talking to the wife, but
Oh, well, yeah,
you left out one very, very important part when it came to the Steph conversation. He's old, bro. Ain't no shoe company trying to get this dude millions of dollars. They gonna give it to these young cats. If Steph Curry was 25 years old, he'd have a brand new shoe deal. There's no way, he's revolutionary. He changed the game. Everything you said, 100% accurate. And if he was 25, he'd have 100 to 200 million waiting on him to sign with somebody.
And you still got KD.
But yeah, he's old, man. His game, his days of changing the game are over. But it's a young man's game, and Jay just so happened to speak on it, man. Yeah.
Oh,
what size are those?
Those are the Anthony Edwards. These
What
are
size are those?
These are 9.5.
See what I'm saying? I can't wear those, bro. You know what a 14
Actually,
look like?
no, they don't look big and bulky, and those aren't even mine. Those are for my young king. Those are his hooping shoes.
Damn, how old is he?
10.
10 with a 9.
He on his way, son. That's
Oh,
what he's on his way.
Yeah.
He's on his
For sure.
way.
For sure.
Yeah, 10 with a 9. Goddamn.
We cashing checks in like 8 years.
NIL, baby, NIL.
But yeah, nah, man, it's the signature shoe. It's not still. I mean, if you obviously you have to get to the level, right? That's just it. But I think the days of guys, if what you were just saying about no more big three was just the freedom of guys signing elsewhere, I 100% agree with that, because there was a time where it was Cooper Flags with New Balance. You wouldn't have seen that.
Yeah. Coopers with New Balance.
You wouldn't have seen that 10 years ago. Tyrese Maxey, same thing. Darius Garland, also New Balance.
Julius Randle is with Skechers.
Right,
Embiid is with Skechers, if I'm not mistaken. Embiid is with Skechers, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yeah. So from that standpoint, I agree with you. There's just more options. These brands are experimenting more. They're reaching out more, trying to gain a new customer base, and one thing that players are more expressive, right? In their fashion, which includes the shoe game. So from that standpoint, I 100% agree with you. But just the days of the signature shoe being complete, that'll never die, because that's where the money comes from. These guys got it in their deals. Once they do reach the level where they can get a signature shoe, they get points on the package. If you know, and that affects their pocketbook. So, but yeah, this signature shoe game will never be done. Everybody still wants to be NJ at heart, and these companies will always seek out to get young talent where they can.
And I'm gonna throw this out there. Just another name, dope shoe. I like these them John Morants. I got a chance to see a pair in person today. Of someone who come to my job quite often. Had on a nice little fit and was like, "Yeah, these the John Morants." Didn't even realize when you turn them sideways, the shoe and the Nike swoosh actually says job. Didn't even know.
I like them though. I don't like.
I thought they was. It was maybe it was the complete outfit, but I didn't even know that. I just thought it was lines on the shoe. You know what I'm saying? But you turn it sideways, it actually does say job, include with the Nike swoosh if you put it like that. So I thought that was pretty dope. AP, I saw you cut your mic on, man. What you got?
I was just gonna say I could barely afford Walmart shoes, so I'm probably not the best to talk about in this situation. So, as long as guys are making money, that's cool. There you go.
And listen, I'm gonna tell you this, Alan. I'm gonna tell Alan this. I have had a mother who worked at Walmart. And you know what she came home with one time? And me and Jay, me and Sante Mama was at Walmart. You know what they bought us in pairs, 2 pairs of? It was like y'all gonna be matching. Ooh, I had them WBs, boy. I had them Shaq WBs, boy. Don't get me wrong.
Mm,
Don't get hindsight being 2020. They was fly, but this is just the fact that it said WB on it.
yeah.
On everything. If I could pull up a plain black and white pair on Google right now, if you could just cover up the fact that it said WB on the shoe, you wouldn't know. But you know how it is, Jay. The jive started early in the morning, man. Early in
Oh yeah,
the hate
for
to
sure.
disappoint your mama. And just why you ain't wearing the shoes? I bought you. Oh, yeah.
They hurt my feet.
That's when she says they supposed to hurt your feet.
Yeah,
Grow
right.
into them.
Supposed to break them in, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. But hey, gang, you know what? Jay, shoes.
I told you, man. Like I, for some reason, I was more into football shoes and the cross trainers and stuff like that. Uh, the Bo Jackson joints. Uh, Basketball shoes just wasn't for me unless I was playing ball in them. But like cross trainers was my thing. Like Air Raid. Uh, I didn't. I kind of like with Allen, man. I felt like I was putting. I'm gonna tell you, when I was wearing a 7 when I was in the 3rd grade,
Hmm.
and by the time I started wearing those shoes, I want to say those were the 7s, either the 6s or the 7s. They got tight on my feet, man. I felt so terrible, man, that I made my mom go in there and buy those Jordans, man, and they didn't even last long on my feet. I had to give them away to my cousin, and she took them on. I mean, they were still fresh. You know what I mean? I tried everything, man. I got the shoe, the what the old men put in their dress shoes, and I poured alcohol in there. Like I tried everything that somebody told me, man, and it didn't work. It didn't work.
Dang.
So like from that time on, like anytime my mom used to take me to get some shoes, me myself personally, I stayed under $100. I didn't even want to go to $90. Like 89.99. I pick them up. Look, 89. Oh, I take these. I didn't. I ain't pushed the envelope when it came to that, yo. I didn't. I felt like I was putting a whole financial burden on my mom by asking her to get $100 something dollar pair of shoes until I was
Mhm.
able to afford my own, and I still stayed the same way because you know what I wear. I wear Air Max all day. I wear Air Max. I got all kinds of Air Maxes. You know what I
Right.
mean? But those they got the expensive ones and they have the lower cost ones. If nobody's paying attention, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference sometimes. Unless you got the Vapor Max and all this other stuff. Yeah, but I stayed away from expensive shoes. I always do.
By the way, got some breaking news. Giannis is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with a calf injury.
It's time. Yeah, it's time to end the show, man.
So, so yeah, I
Dang,
know that's
man.
a somber note to end off on, but
That's a
yeah,
somber day.
I just saw that like just pop up on my feed. I was like, oh yeah, that the Bucks season is over. They're done.
Alan, remind me to get you a sound effect, man. So from now on, when you got something like that, I'm gonna hit your button, and
Yeah,
you can
Man,
then you can
yeah.
kick the facts like that. Yeah, Alan needs a sound
I
effect.
actually have one. I actually have one for you. I gotta send it to you.
Right. Yeah, that Alan, we're gonna get Alan a sound effect, but fellas, man, look at
good
that, man,
news
for a
is
first
he can
show.
go fishing with Ben Simmons.
Fellas, look at that, man. For the first show, we had so much basketball to talk about. We done ran up 2.5 hours, man. Bobby G, I wish I could have caught the show earlier, man. I saw you was talking about the UFC, man. How'd it go?
Well, great. You was supposed to be on there. I
I
invited the
know
whole
I
crew.
couldn't do it. I had,
Yeah,
I'm out here juggling children like this.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
no, it's all good. Yeah, no, it was great. Bodkins and Bobby Blunt said they did a great job talking some UFC 324 going down tomorrow night.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it was a fun time.
That's what's up. That's what's up. AP man, I know you weren't feeling well, but of course you got some things to look forward to this weekend. What you talking about, bro?
We gotta lock it in. Probably tomorrow morning. We'll be doing some talking about the championship weekend. Probably doing a lot of college basketball bets because it's that time of year, especially in the betting world where a lot of college basketball bets take place. That they advise don't really bet on championship weekend or any of the NFL games because it's just too much to deal with. Um, basketball you've got a wider range of picks there that you can go with. So we'll be talking a lot. We'll be previewing the championship games, but we'll also be talking a lot of college basketball as well down the stretch, and maybe even college baseball once that starts up here pretty soon.
Yeah. Big shouts out to Uncle Scott and 10 man, my guy for Basement Brew Fantasy. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to lock it in on the weekends, early in the morning. They're getting the bets in. So make sure you tune in for that. Championship weekend. I can't wait for it. Jay man, we got a lot going on going this coming weekend, bro. Football to watch. I think is an important North Carolina game coming up this weekend too, isn't it? Ain't y'all playing somebody?
Yeah, we played. They moved the game due to the weather.
Right.
The
Yeah.
weather. Well, in North Carolina, they're supposed to see some snow. We just think it's coming down here. So, they who are they playing?
I
I want to
swear
say
I
Georgia
saw it
Tech.
earlier. Yeah,
If not,
it's somebody good
I
too.
can't recall, but they moved the game to 12 noon, which I thought. I guess they still expecting the weather to come in. I guess later in the afternoon, so they moved the game to 12 noon.
I
But
just looked outside. I can't even see the road anymore.
It's Virginia.
oh yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, Virginia
you know
12.
we're cool at home as long anytime we're at home we're cool, but away, yeah. But
Yeah.
guys, I don't know when I'll be seeing y'all again. So we'll we'll convene, but um, you know, oh yeah, we'll talk. But yeah, I don't know when I'll be seeing y'all again. But yeah, so as far as what I'll be doing from this point on after this week, I don't know. I don't know. I know y'all be doing y'all thing on Tuesdays or whatever, but you know, um, sometimes we link up and we talk amongst ourselves and we just get to some hot topics. You know what I mean? So I'll try my best to definitely be in on Tuesday, but we'll who I have no idea where I'll be. I'll probably be in Nebraska or somewhere closer to Allen. So man,
Shoot the
it's gonna
illest
be
Well,
nigga
not
in
for another.
Nebraska.
I was gonna say not for another week at least. Not with all this weather going around.
You powder
nah, my
powder
man.
fool.
Money, money talks, and I'm flying out first thing smoking on Thursday.
I moved
So,
Dolos from state to state.
Right.
hey,
Your man.
aha!
Who's that?
High club, baby.
Knowledge. Anyway,
Yeah,
man, if you
man.
don't know the references, man, I hope you go watch it. Watch Belly, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great show. We enjoyed it. One time for Evan for P5 for stopping through today. We had so much basketball to talk about, man. Evan said he's gonna catch us on the next one. We appreciate you. So for Bobby G, for AP, and for Jay on the MIC, it's your boy WHIT. We are out.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.